women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
Oh no, JP, it was JQ. How many? How many ways? Birdman, Keno, Silva, Kevin Effect, man. Welcome back, man. Without further ado. The student of the month. Star of the week. The most amazing young woman that I know. Kennedy, Lenny, Jean Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Kennedy, Lenny, Jean Hawthorne. Coming next to the stage, the gentleman, the award-winning student, big bro, Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. I know I have to, because Lincoln has to go next. When I do this, that means get to your last one. Great job. Lincoln Curtis. Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Hawthorne. Love you. Yep. Perfect. Not really, but love y'all. You reading our bedtime story, dude? All right, cool. All right. Appreciate you, man. Nina. Yeah. You're right. You're right, Gigi. Yeah. I just wanted an androgynous name, and Lincoln Kennedy, the offensive lineman. I played basketball with him in the summer of 96 and 97. I played basketball with him when I was in college. And when I was thinking about naming them, I said, I definitely didn't want them named after my father. I'm named after my father. And I didn't want to put the pressure of my grandfather, so I gave him my grandfather's middle name, which is Curtis. And so I just wanted them to have their own, but I wanted them to, because a lot of times you meet people on paper, you know what I mean? I didn't want it to be like a civil war or a racial war or a racial mental discussion with the people on the other side. So I was like, let me give them an androgynous name, you know? And so that's how Lincoln and Kennedy came about. And the natural conversation, oh, they named after presidents. When people say that, I don't disagree with them, because what's the point? I'm not getting those 5 minutes back. So I just let it go. And I just let people do what they do. What up? What's up, 14? What's up, 14? Team 14. What it do, baby? Appreciate the inspiration today in the gym, dog. I totally appreciate it, man. It's I did a video about you today, KB. Yeah, man. So what's going on in boxing, man? Blue blood, man. Blue blood going off over there. I was listening to Blue Blood, watching the Yankees get the dub. Yankees got the dub tonight, and we up 1-0. The Dodgers are up 3-0. That's what I want. Dodgers, Yankees, World Series. And I'm tired of the Astros, man. They stealing signs again. Hit another walk-off home run. I'm telling y'all, man. This shit rigged, man. I'm always gonna doubt them, man. So hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I got to take care of something with the kids. Let's see. Let me give y'all. Why not?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating, because he told this to me himself.
Is what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries. And can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating, because he told this to me himself.
Is what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries. And can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating, because he told this to me himself.
Is what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries. And can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating, because he told this to me himself.
Is what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries. And can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating, because he told this to me himself.
Is what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries. And can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
How many? What's up, Mr. Johnson? Man, I told you, appreciate y'all coming through tonight, man. Thank you, man. You know, Kennedy tried to sneak the iPad upstairs. She, yeah, nah, it ain't going down. Not on a school night. You know, she'll be up because she'll time me because she can hear my voice. You know, and then she'll go hide the iPad under the seat or hide the iPad under the pillow or something. You know, give her an extra 2 hours. Anyways, man, hopefully everybody's good. And what's going on in boxing? The Yankees won. Dodgers are winning 3-0. Big weekend, big Saturday in sports, dog. Man, this might be they're about to be up 4-0. This might be the biggest weekend that we've had since the Kentucky Derby and Mayweather fighting. What's up, Jerry? I mean, it's a big weekend, dog. Man, it's a big weekend. We got from sun up to sundown. It's sad I got to miss the damn Michigan Penn State game because I got basketball practice with Lincoln. But my gosh, man, I want to see that game. Whew. You know, we got the LA mayoral race going on right now. Hey, dog, this is what I wanted to talk about. Two things before we get into the couple of topics. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have no criminal record because my petty theft was expunged. So I've been clean since I was 19, right? Paid my I don't lie on my taxes. I pay my tax, willfully pay my tax. I pay quarterly taxes, property tax, sales tax, donate money, donate time, do the right thing in terms of not cheating the government. And I'm watching the mayoral race. The topic of conversation is homelessness. Now, I do have a level of empathy for homelessness. I'm not going to lie to you. I do. But goddamn, there are business owners. There are law-abiding citizens that their public safety is infringed upon because of Bloods, Crips, essays, criminals. Can we get some tax breaks on property tax? Can we get a lower sales tax? Can we get more police officers on the street? Can we get some community involvement in politics? The number one topic is homelessness. And you know what they said? Oh, we need to build homeless shelters. So that means a man that's said, fuck it. I don't want to pay rent no more. I'm just gonna be homeless. Man, homelessness is an issue, but it shouldn't be the number one issue for the people paying taxes. The people paying taxes should not be watching this debate like, nah. In the meantime, in between time, we got all this desert land out here in Los Angeles. If they willfully do not want to go, if they willfully want to be on the street, willfully want to park their butts in front of businesses, willfully want to destroy and pee and burn up this city, because a lot of times these encampments go on fire because they make these they make these things in a tent because it gets cold at night, right? If they don't go where the government tells them to go, then guess what? They got to go somewhere. Put that encampment in the desert somewhere. You know what I mean? Build it up real quick. Shit. I mean, it's just how I feel. You know what I mean? I think we got to exterminate gangs. We need programs for these young men, these young women. And I think we need to do some more encouraging things for the citizens. You know, oh man, The number one issue, dog, is homelessness. I mean, the San Diego, I mean, not the San Diego, the San Bernardino Mountains start at the Las Vegas border, at Nevada border in Las Vegas. Build an encampment, put some solar on that motherfucker, and move them motherfuckers out there. And I don't mean motherfucker as in they're not human, but they should not be comfortable. My opinion, and I want y'all to, if you disagree with me, come on in. But before we get into this boxing shit, let's talk about this. I don't think we should make them comfortable. I really, really don't. Nah, they should not be comfortable. If they don't want to abide by the law and go to these short-term housing and get their life together, they need to get permanent housing 100 miles outside of LA. You know what I mean? And it's not a prison, but I'm just saying, because these business owners are suffering. I don't go into stores where homeless people are because I have my kids with me. I'm never by myself. I don't park at where there's homelessness. I don't go into 7-Eleven with my kids. Don't take my man. I don't do it. And it's just gotten too. It's like we just give away everything, man. Everything. I'm sick. Okay, we got $100 million for you. What about the law-abiding citizens, dog? Oh man, I'm just bent out of shape over it. I don't know who I'm voting for. The one person I'm not voting for is Karen Bass. She's been in office for 20 years. I'm not a fan of Rick. I forget his last name because he's against gun laws. And so I'm not a fan of his. But I think Karen Bass is going to win, though. You know, I think she's very entrenched, and she's a woman. It's a woman's time now. You know, I'm willing to bet it's probably 65-35 men and women. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm not claiming to have the solution. By no means am I claiming to have the solution, but they should not be living in places better than the business owners that they're sleeping in front of. They should not have better services than the people. They're not paying taxes, y'all. They're costing us money. And I'm not being insensitive. I'm just talking bottom line pragmatics. That's all I'm talking. I'm not talking about nothing else. I don't want this comment. Oh, Fred's insensitive. No, I'm not being insensitive. I just don't want to deal with the emotion of this conversation. I'm not interested in it. Man, we got so much underdeveloped places in the San Bernardino Mountains. They need to go there. Take a year, develop that shit. And if they don't want to go in temporary housing in the city, you move them out there. And they got to feel uncomfortable. It's 100 degrees during the day and 30 degrees at night. They got to feel uncomfortable, and they make the right decision. And if they just want to sit on the street and be homeless, then they can stay in that encampment. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the way I feel about that, man. I'll be candidly honest, man. And so we can talk about that too. And I didn't read the article. I just saw the title. So we're going to read the article together about is Deontay Wilder a Hall of Famer? I didn't read it, but we're going to read it together tonight. And then I saw a video clip. What's up, Jeff? I saw a video clip of the face-off with Devin Haney. I saw the face-off with him and Kambosos, and he did not, I repeat, did not have the ring belt. So I'm glad he's not. And if you took the video I did Sunday as a thing, I will stand corrected. If you took it as like I was challenging him and I was telling him that I was wrong, feel free to say I was wrong. But I think it's important that we take a stand. And I think Jamel Charlo should do the same. And I'm not picking on Devin. Jamel Charlo needs to do the same thing. Period. In the discussion. If he walks in the ring with the Ring Magazine belt, that means he's complicit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not changing my rules. This ain't no emotional attack. I really like Devin. I think Devin is an incredible kid. Now he's a young man now. He's not a kid anymore. He's a man. So I'm governing him as a man. And I have Devin winning 9 rounds of 3. How will they survive in the desert? It's housing. It's housing. They need to feel uncomfortable, man. Nah, they need to feel uncomfortable. Vegas is a desert. Shit. Shit. Every island is basically a man. I don't have empathy. I can't have empathy. I can't have homeless people getting more services than tax-paying citizens. Period. Those businesses pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales tax, property tax. They probably own a home. They probably have multiple businesses. They pay employee tax. Man, I don't have empathy for. I don't have sympathy for them. I have a level of empathy because some of them are in hard times. I get it, but San Bernardino is a great landing spot, and is a great landing spot for them, and they need to feel uncomfortable. It's like Section 8. It's like WIC. People feel comfortable and never get off. Oh, I'm just gonna take this $1,800. Oh, I'm comfortable making $3,000 a month, living in this 2-bedroom apartment. I'm happy. No, it's not supposed to be forever. But people make it forever. You know, so I didn't see that. I didn't see the franchise belt, but I didn't see the ring belt. I don't. Is the franchise belt 2 belts? So that means he would have 2 WBC belts, right? Right, boxing dude. You got to correct me on that. I'll know more tomorrow when I look at more videos. I just know Devin's gonna mop this dude up 9 rounds of 3. Carissa Shields is gonna win 9 rounds of 3. Wilder's gonna have an under 4 knockout. What else? Alicia Baumgartner is the wild card. I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know if she's it's 2 belts. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. That would be a question. That would be a question. I don't know. That would be a question that I can't answer right now. Because I don't know if they combine the belts. If you're a franchise champion, do you just got to only have 1 belt or do you take 2 belts? I don't know. You know, I don't know. Does a regular belt represent the franchise belt and so on and so forth? But you know, that franchise belt was politics, dog. That franchise, yeah, that parlay is juicy, but yeah, Wilder gonna knock this dude out, man. Plant gonna win. I really like Plant. I have a soft relationship with Plant. I haven't seen him in years, but I like him. I've seen every fight he's ever had on PBC. It's gonna tell me a lot about Caleb Plant. It's gonna tell me a lot about Caleb Plant. And I like Darrell. Darrell has been fair to me. So honestly, if I was with Caleb Plant, I would tell him the truth. Like, I want to see who you are. You know, I haven't seen a great Caleb Plant since the first 8 rounds of Uzataki. You know, he was good against Canelo, and he could have won. You know, yeah. Oh, you just looked it up on your site. 500 to win 3,500. So it's 7-1. It's a 7-1 parlay. Baumgartner Wilder parlay. Wow. Huh. I might do Baumgartner, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I don't do parlays because I like to win. You know, I like to win. If I'm gonna win $20 off a $100 bet, I'll bet 100 to win $20. I like for sure things. You know what I mean? Parlay. It's just a great day for. It's a great day for sports fans. But I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Shields, Baumgartner. We gonna. Oh, did he hook it? Did he hook it? Foul ball. Almost hit a grand salami. Almost hit a grand salami. Dodgers up 5-0. But Fred, you picked Caleb over Canelo. Gotta pick. I did pick Caleb over Canelo. No, I didn't. Nah, that's a lie. I was rooting for Caleb. I didn't pick him. I'm not that dumb. Caleb's been out for a year. I wouldn't pick him. No, I wouldn't do that. I was rooting for Caleb, but I didn't pick him. I'm interested in that fight, dog. I'm interested in that whole card. Gary Russell brothers fighting. Ali is fighting. What's the Ali dude name? He's fighting. So it's a strong card, but I wish that they just would make these cards so we can promote boxing. I don't know how many thousands of people are going to watch this fight, but it's not going to be. I don't think. What's up, Mr. Anderson? I don't think 1 million people is going to buy this pay-per-view. So I did see the Deontay Wilder interview on the Pivot as I was working today, and I really enjoyed that interview. If you haven't watched it yet, I suggest you watch it. It's a really good interview. What else? What else? Oh, okay. That's Dre talking to Lincoln. But what's up, Corey Lee Boxing, man? Channel growing, big dog. Channel growing, big homie. Congratulations on your growth, man. Congratulations. But I'm Caleb. I mean, I if you ask me if I want Caleb to win over him, sure, but it's a tough. I mean, Darrell is a tough out. I know he doesn't look like he's like the best ever, but I've seen him fight live. That motherfucker tough, man. That motherfucker tough. He durable. He's sturdy. He knows who he is as a fighter. I know he's older, but he tough, man. I've seen him fight live. And before he got cut, I know this was years ago, 2019, before he got cut against what's called. It was a 1-round fight. So, I know he don't look explosive like these young fighters, and his jab ain't what it once was, but he's big, tough, and sturdy. It is a great co-main event. I agree. I just wish they had this on regular TV, man. Dude, you know how lit boxing would be if Wilder was on Fox? Oh, if Wilder was on Fox, dog. Damn, man. You know what I mean? All Al had to do was just go into the coffers, just say, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet. How much is yours? How much? All right, I'll just bite the bullet, All right, let's read this article and we'll bring Devin back up in a minute, okay? I want to read this article to Devin. I feel and I'll talk about that in a second. Deontay Wilder. Oh, here's the undercard information right now so we can see it together. This nigga Vito got another fight? Hell nah. I said nigga Vito. He ain't no nigga. Vito got another fight? How this motherfucker getting all these fights, dog? His dad paying for these fights. All right, anyways, man. How Vito got another fight, dog? This is third fight. He fought on Christmas, so this is second fight this year. I'll read it. So I know some of y'all are driving y'all trucks. So this is the undercard information for Deontay Wilder. You got Vito McAnally. He will return against Limburg Ponce in an 8 or 10 round at welterweight. FS2 telecast. We'll have contender Michael Rivera battling California's Jerry Perez in the 8th round. That's the fake Ali guy. Undefeated heavyweight Garon Hovanerson in an 8-rounder against Bronx native. Damn, Michael Coffey is on FS2. So he's back in action. How did he get back on without Johnny Rice, dog? How the fuck did Michael Coffey get on? Man, get the fuck out of here, dog. Like, come on, man. How disrespectful can we be, dog? How the fuck did Michael Coffey get a date before Johnny Rice? How is he being rewarded before Johnny Rice, dog? I'm done, dog. I'm done. That's all I'm saying. I'm done. So he lost, and he gets a fight date before the winner. What type of shit we on, man? You know what I mean, man? All right, whatever. Okay, here we go. Representing Roseland, New Jersey. Okay, let's see. No, man. We got Michael Ponce, he's whatever. Rivera. Trained alongside 4th Division. Leo Santa Cruz and Perez. Now we know that one. We know Hovanson, Michael Coffey. And the non-televised, Michael Angeletti will fight Jeremy Adorno. Welterweight prospect Keyshawn Williams in a 6-round matchup against Julio Rosa. Oh, Jose Negrete. No, that's not the same guy. Miguel Roman, all young 2-0 guy. Oh, these are the undercards. This ain't the pay-per-view. All right, let's go to the article because I'm very interested in this article. I don't know how they worded it or nothing. I just saw the title and I was like, this would be an interesting topic to talk. Did they take the article off? Yo, did they take the article off, dog? Get the fuck. No, they didn't. Oh, no, here it is, right. All right, let's read this and we'll get back to it. Deontay Wilder is fighting this weekend, but it's okay if you hadn't heard. After all, it's on the same night as lightweight title rematch. Oh my God, this motherfucker said it's okay. Dog, yo. Tell me I ain't on to something, dog. Tell me I'm not on to something. Check this shit out. Fox is Deontay Wilder is fighting on Fox. Boxing Scene is owned by CBS and Viacom and Paramount Global. And they are destroying Deontay Wilder. But let's keep on going. I tell you, man, the devil, nothing gets by Freddie. Nothing gets by Freddie, man. But it's okay. It's okay. I really want to read this article now. I really, really want to read this article. But it's okay if you hadn't heard. After all, it's on the same night as lightweight title rematch between Devin Haney and George Kambosos, a fight that's gotten and deserves more attention. He bringing the guns out. It'll be Wilder's first appearance since he was whacked. Oh, my God, whacked. Oh, my God, since he was whacked. This is a hit piece. Hey, this is what you call a hit piece. And I ain't mad because I did this shit on Steve Kim. And who else did I do hit? I did so many hit pieces, man. It's ridiculous. So I get it, man. It'll be Wilder's first appearance since he was whacked by Tyson Fury a year ago. And the first time he's performed without a green belt at stake since the Obama administration. So he's blaming Obama. But that will let you know she's been fighting a long time. He's 0-2-1 with a pair of stoppages against Fury and 42-0 with 41 knockouts against everyone else, which isn't exactly good news for Robert Helenius. The thrice, he meant to say twice. Oh, no, the thrice beaten Scandinavian giant in the opposite corner who couldn't go the distance with dubious likes of Johan Duhaupas or Gerald Washington. Duhaupas finished him in 6 in 2016, and Gerald Washington got him in 8 and 8 3 years later. Incidentally, Wilder KO'd both these men in WBC title fights in over a combined 16 rounds. So by the time Saturday night becomes Sunday morning, it's pretty good bet that the Bronze Bomber, installed as a prohibited minus 800 pick by the guys at DraftKings, will have ticketed up a record and polished up his image with a highlight reel KO that will resemble a tumbling redwood. And in the aftermath, let's guess that he'll thump his chest, yell "bomb squad" a couple times, and immediately predict a demise of the nearest belt holder, who's 6'9" and 270 pounds. I'll make all for good Fox PBC television. It'll make for good Fox PBC television, but in the grand scheme won't mean much. He's not the best heavyweight in the world based on the results against Fury. In fact, he's probably not even the second best in the world based on the recent accomplishments of ex-cruiserweight king Alexander Usyk. And despite what he's claimed in Helena's run-up, he's certainly not an immortal either. I'm a Hall of Famer right now, he told this very website last month. I already know when those 5 years are up and I'm done competing, I'm automatically in the Boxing Hall of Fame, no questions asked. If not, I'll be surprised. It is predictable. It is predictably bold statement from the perpetually bold guy, and he is absolutely right, but he's also very wrong. Given the iffy nature of some who's been cleared for the 21st century takeoff into central New York Mecca, Gotti, Ali, Chacon, McGuinn amongst them, I concede it's a 2022 reality that Wilder will indeed be a first ballot inductee when his name is on the ballot. The 10 title defenses and spectacular KO rate will be ample rationale for yes votes, dismissing that he was twice splattered. Splattered by the only champion he met other than Bermain Stavern. See, if people don't read the articles, I miss writing articles, dog, because I would do the same thing on people I didn't like. See, he said twice he was splattered by the only champion he met. Now, if people don't finish reading the article, they'll say, oh, that's the only champion he fought, but other than Bermain Stavern. That is, and few of the other challenges arrive anything resembling a legitimate title shot pedigree. But in line with that 2022 reality, it is what it is, and I'm okay with it. Though barely past a half century myself, I'm fully aware of my undisputed dinosaur status when it comes to the Hall voting criteria. In its simplest terms, it goes like this. I don't want to read this whole far. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, I can finish it. Was the fighter amongst the best of his peer group for a prolonged stretch of time, not a one-year star or a popular guy on TV who solely do persona style, cough, cough, but one of those guys for at least a handful of years who were on a short list of the best fighters in the world. If the answer is yes, I think Mayweather and Pacquiao, he's got my vote. If the answer is no, think Butterbean and Kardashian. He's got my apologies. Wilder, though, perhaps not to the degree of the examples cited, deserves a hard no. He gets points as a stat compiler and an extra nudge thanks to the Olympic medal street cred. Damn. But unless my hurricane handled mind is failing, 2 weeks without electricity will do that to a guy. Believe me, I don't recall many suggesting, even at a peak of his powers, that he was any more an all-time great than simply the pick of a historically and glorious heavyweight litter. At no point during his reign did he even make the Ring's year-end pound-for-pound top 10. He's most dedicated fan couldn't rank him better than fourth, trailing Lennox Lewis, Vladimir. Amongst the division's title claimant since 2000, unless okay, I'm reading it. Okay, that's reputted. That's an era, particularly no one laws as golden when it comes to big men. Okay. All right, there we go. So basically, he's conceding. He's conceding. And the easy answer is, man, obviously Deontay Wilder's a Hall of Famer, dog. I guess It's not a question. 10 title defenses, bronze medal. I think all Olympic. Here's my stance on it. All Olympic medals winners should be in the Hall of Fame. All of them. All of them. And the reason why is because you are one of 20,000 in your weight class worldwide, one of 30,000, one of in the world. You know, so he's going in the Hall of Fame. And I want to say something that's really, really important. And I need Timothy Bradley, Deontay Wilder, and all y'all Negroes and Niglets, and y'all get mad at me for speaking my mind. Oh, he don't deserve to be this shit. He don't deserve to be that. He don't deserve. If you don't have no representation, guess what's going to happen to your ass? They not going to vote for you, nigga. They not going to vote for your black ass. Okay? And that's the reality of this thing. So when you don't have people who are your contemporaries voting, you got all these old guys still voting, and you don't have no mixed batch of contemporaries and then you're not going to get people to vote for you, man. You know, and that's why it's important for these YouTubers to be Hall of Fame voters. YouTube is media now. YouTube is real media. Instagram is real media now. These dinosaurs, I mean, it's over. You know, I mean, these damn dinosaurs, and you know, it's so important that Ellie's been covering it for a while, and he may want to apply to be a voter. Who else? YouTubers. You may have Fight Height, Marcos. They need to figure out how to be voters for these damn for these Hall of Fame votes, because these old motherfuckers don't cover boxing. But you know, I tried to make it make sense to them years ago. They thought they was like, who's this little nigga? I got 300,000 followers. Why am I listening to you? You got 3,000 followers. I said, all right. Now they sitting back like, now we 40 and 50 years old. We were 30, 35, right? Now we older, and now we're being honest with our mortality, and we're thinking of the legacy. Now we want to be in the Hall of Fame. Now we want to be Hall of Fame voters. All right. I tried to tell y'all, but no one wants to fight that fight. You know, they just want to be complicit. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is Wilder's a Hall of Famer. But let's open up the phone lines. If you disagree, you know you're welcome to disagree in the shop now. I ain't gonna block your ass. You know what I mean? You know you're welcome. And call me now. Call me now. Yeah, the phone lines are open. Jerry, you know my number. Hey, but Wilder's a Hall. And another thing, I don't have info on this, but I saw online a 15-year-old kid was murdered, and I don't know the details on it. I really didn't want to research it. I'll be honest. I had the phone on my lap. I could have Googled it, but I wasn't in the mood. But if anyone want to come in and tell that story, you definitely more than welcome to. All right. Where's Jerry at? This is Jerry. What's up, Jerry?
Wow.
What's up, Tay? Yeah, man.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder is a Hall of Famer. For me, not so much of his Olympic pedigree, because there's been plenty of fighters in the history of boxing that won with Olympic medals and pro careers just didn't turn out. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure the Boxing Hall of Fame is based on your pro career. However, he's got, what you said, 10 title defenses. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he's got. 10.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, well, that'll probably right there get him in.
Yeah,
he did get
Ali.
Yeah, he did get smashed up by Fury 2 times. Many believe he lost 3 times, like myself, but officially it was a draw the first fight, and that's fine. And he's not done. So
Good point.
I kind of,
He's
yeah,
not done.
I kind of think he's washed up myself. I don't know if that'll be proven out against Hellenius. It depends. In order for me to feel like Wilder is not washed up at this point, Hellenius has to land on him. You know, he has to take some punch. I want to see what his punch resistance is in this fight and his stamina. But if he knocks him out in the second round, we might not get those questions answered. And that's a concern I have for Wilder because, you know, hopefully, you know, he is okay physically. But if he's not, you know, it might not be found out right away if he scores early KOs. But that's what he's done mostly in his career anyway, is score early KOs. I mean, the guy is a monstrous puncher. I'm not a big fan of him for several reasons, but no one can deny his punching. And people say, well, he can't box for shit. Well, guess what? You don't win a bronze medal if you can't box for shit. I mean, he can box some. Tyson Fury said it best in the first fight. He said, look, he's the puncher and I'm the boxer. But I'd be foolish to think that he can't box some, and he'd be foolish to think that I can't punch some. You see what I mean? Sure, he can box some. I mean, is he, you know, totally skillful, like a high-end skill? No, but that's, you know, he's a power puncher, so that is what it is. But I will say this, while I do believe Wilder is a Hall of Famer, what I don't believe is I don't believe Devin Haney belongs on the pound-for-pound list yet.
Wow.
Yeah, because, you know, outpointing George Kambosos is not going to get you on the pound-for-pound list. The other 3 fights of any significance that he had, let's start with Gamboa, because that was like the first name opponent that he had fought. Prior to that, I don't know who he was fighting or how he got ranked number 1, because he was ranked number 1 in the WBC prior to fighting Gamboa, and he hadn't fought nobody. The only thing he had done is sign a deal with Dazin, and that's how he got that ranking, just like a lot of fighters do. The rankings, you know, they're bought and paid for, and the sanctioning bodies, they want to have working relationships with all the promoters. Dazin had invested in Haney, and they basically had him positioned in the number 1 spot. That was even before he fought the 39-year-old Gamboa. That's ancient for a former featherweight. 39 years old. Beat several times Gamboa, and he beat him, but he couldn't knock him down. And Gamboa's been knocked down like 15 or 16 times in his career. Haney couldn't put him down once. And he won the fight. It was one-sided, but it was boring like he typically is. Then he fought the 37-year-old Jorge Linares, another old dude. Linares had not only been beat 5 times prior to that fight, he'd been stopped 5 times. Stopped. Every time Linares stepped up, he's a very fit fighter. I'll give him that. And I'm not saying he's a scrub, but he was 37 years old. He'd already been stopped 5 times. If you look at his career, every time he stepped up, he got beat. Haney beat him. I gave Linares a round and a half, the round that he hurt him in, and half of the next round. Then he fought Jojo Diaz, and I give him good credit for that. I mean, Diaz is no Hall of Famer. I mean, the times he stepped up, one of Gary Russell, he got beat. But he's a game guy, and he took the fight, and Devin did a number on him. To me, that might be his best performance. But, you know, I have him ranked somewhere outside of the top 10, but not in the top 10 right now. But to be fair, I don't have Lomachenko in the top 10 neither. I got him outside of the top 10.
Who do you have outside the top 10?
Loma.
Okay.
Yeah, Lomachenko. And Lomachenko, I think, has a far better resume in my mind than Devin does right now. And the good news for Devin is he's, 23 years old. He got plenty of time. And if he's as good as some people think that he is, he's going to not only be in the top 10, he'll probably be close to the top of the top 10 for pound. But right now, I don't think, you know, I think there's other guys that have done more that deserve it right now, and he's just outside him and Loma.
Really? I'll let KP go. Go ahead, KP.
Yeah, I think Wilder's a definite Hall of Famer. Easy. 10 defenses. Don't get no better than that. Only one guy did it better than him, which was Muhammad Ali. He went for his 11th defense. He lost the fight. I mean, what is it? He lost to one guy. The one guy he lost to was the guy that they claimed that was a great fighter, which was Klitschko, who Klitschko couldn't even fucking knock down. Could barely even touch the guy, right? You remember that? That boring ass fight that they had?
Klitschko.
Hold on, Jerry, didn't nobody interrupt you. Let me just finish. Wilder knocked Fury down twice in the first fight. Could have been 3 times if you count it. Whatever. Okay. It was a draw. Then he had 2 other fights with him. Yes, he lost the fights. But Deontay Wilder's a definite first ballot Hall of Famer. The writer is full of shit. Devin Haney is a top pound for pound fighter based on what he's done at 135. And now that he's about to beat the guy again, people want to marginalize what he's done after he's done it. Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. It's not his fault. That's not his fault. He just fought the guy that had the belts. He won the fight. So in the event that, let's say, Usyk fights Fury and wins the fight, all he would have fought is Joshua and Fury. It's not his fault. That's the guys that had the belts. He beat the guys. That's not his fault. If Wilder would have fought Joshua and won the belt at the time when he was undefeated, would people then marginalize Wilder for getting
You still there? Oh, you muted yourself, dog. Go ahead, Kate. Oh, go ahead. Oh, he had to mute himself. Okay, you want to respond to him while he's fixing? Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I'm not saying it's Devin Haney's fault that Kambosos had the belt. That makes him a lineal champ, and he is the undisputed champ. Now, I was one that called him a paper champ because I come from a school where you got to win the title in the ring. And Janabek, right now, Janabek is another paper champion. I don't know how it happened in boxing. The whole time I've been watching boxing, mostly, if a title became vacant, the number 1 guy fought the number 2 guy. That's how it works. Or you fight the very next ranked highest contender. You got to fight for the title and win it in the ring. Nowadays, they just award the title to whoever the contender is. It's just more illustration of how boxing is, and the rankings are bought and paid for. Janabek should have had to fight. If Andrade vacated the belt and Janabek was his mandatory, he should have had to fight the next available guy to win the title.
I agree.
Yeah, otherwise, I mean, you just getting a title given to you. And that's what happened with Devin Haney. And people say, well, Loma this and Loma that. Loma fight a unification fight. That trumps a mandatory. Anywhere in boxing, it always trumps the mandatory. Devin Haney was a beltless contender when he was trying to get Loma to fight him instead of Lopez, and Lopez was a champion. So Devin Haney himself wouldn't fight. Like right now, Devin Haney may have a mandatory, but for sure, if he gets the Loma fight after he does Kambosos off, he's not going to fight that mandatory instead of fighting Loma. He's not going to do it. And who could blame him? And I never blame Lomachenko for not fighting Devin, because Devin, like I say, he was a beltless contender at the time, and not a popular one at that. So, anything, bottom line is those fights. And then, for the record, George Kambosos, what did he really do to be Lopez's number 1 contender? Because they said he was
his promoter got in the fight, I guess, Jerry.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It just gets worse and worse where you don't have to do much other than be aligned with the right promoter to get that number 1 spot, because Kambosos, nobody considered him the top 3 lightweight in the division, even after he beat Lopez. I mean, he beat him, okay, and credit to him. But I don't know. I know I didn't, and I don't think too many people considered him in the top 3 of the lightweight division.
I don't think I did either, Jerry. But the thing is there's certain things that we can't control in boxing. We can't control who gets the shot. He got the shot, he took the shot, and he won the fight. And once he won the fight, he became the champ at that weight class. And then Devin Haney beats him and becomes the champ. Now he got to prove it again in his hometown of Australia. Everything against him after what happened the first time. So if he proves it again, let's say he proves it again, Jerry. Then he goes and fights Lomachenko and he beats Lomachenko. To you, in your mind, is he then top 10 pound for pound?
Yeah, I would say so. The Loma win, to me, even despite the fact that Kambosos had all those straps, to me, as far as legacy and ranking is concerned, the Loma win would be a far more significant win. And I like George. George, a fiery little guy. I didn't think he was going to beat Lopez. I thought he was too small, but he showed a lot of fight in that fight. And when I watched it initially, I thought he won wide, but when I watched it a couple more times, I seen that it was closer than what I thought initially. But still, he whooped Lopez on the night, and I like initially fiery little fighter. But in an overall sense, to me, Lomachenko is a far superior fighter to Kambosos. So Haney beats him. That would in my book put him in the top 10 pound for pound, sure.
Michael Fuller just jumped in, man. What's up, man?
How's it going, Fred? How you doing?
Solid.
How you guys doing? How's everybody? Good.
Hey, Mike.
Salute, Doc.
What's happening, bro?
You got an opinion? Is Wilder Hall of Famer? Now he brought up is Devin a pound for pound fighter? And
is Wilder Hall of Famer?
Yeah, is Wilder Hall of Famer? Oh, you got to read. You got to read this article that they did on Wilder, dog. It's hilarious. If someone did an article like this on me, I would laugh. Probably because I come from the journal.
Hey,
the background.
I'm glad you showed that article, Fred, because that's the way that they beat and whip people.
Yeah,
with articles. Yeah, and a lot of people don't miss the words, but Mike will catch all. Mike will catch all that shit.
Oh, 100%.
When he read it, when you read it, drop it in the back chat. Drop it in the back chat so Mike can get it and check it out later.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. You'll definitely enjoy this one, Mike, for sure.
I think Wilder's wow. I think he's a Hall of Famer based on his accomplishments. Bronze medal winner in Olympics, and all the title defenses he had. I'll give him. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. But I did watch some of that video, the interview he had with the pivot. Yeah, and man, one of the things that I always didn't like, or it kind of irritated me about Wilder, is that he had a hard time speaking. When he was interviewed, he would struggle with certain words. I'm not, man. I don't want to like be disrespectful or anything, but it just seems like the brother was borderline like functionally illiterate in his enunciation of words and pronouncing of words. And looking at him today in that interview, it looks like even after all of these years of making all that money, he still hasn't improved in his public speaking, which that kind of alerts me to like a character flaw. I mean, obviously it's a problem. You listen to anyone who hasn't seen that interview, go listen to the interview. And he starts off talking about some incident where he was thinking about shooting someone, and then he used a word that he obviously did not know how to spell, and it's just embarrassing, man. I mean, here's the deal: how that crosses over to his boxing career is being a person that's not teachable. That's the quality that I've seen in him, where he wants to be taught by someone who, like, I think it's Malik Scott. Is that his trainer that trained him for the Fury fight? Was that the guy's name? Am I saying it right?
Yes, Malik Scott.
But he knocked Malik Scott out. He knocked Malik Scott out. He doesn't really. I don't think he's a teachable type of dude. I think you can show him his flaws. He can see it himself, and he just denies it, and he does not want to improve or grow if it requires him to actually be teachable. Maybe because the natural power that he has, and so forth. So at some point, I don't know if he's always been like that, but somewhere along the way, I think he's become a fighter that's not teachable. And it shows because I would think that he would have someone around him would have pointed out, man, you need to take some speech classes, some English classes. You need to get better in your vernacular, your diction, word usage, your vocabulary. You need to be better so that when you're speaking in front of a mic, you don't sound like you're functionally illiterate, which is how he sounds like he's functionally illiterate in a lot of ways when he speaks. So, and he still hasn't improved that. So that's, for me, that's a sign of a character flaw. I'll stop there.
Okay. All right. Let me get in on this. I want to, Mike.
Try not to use any 4-letter words.
Mike.
Go ahead.
Mike. Don't use Mike. Don't use Mike. Use Mike. Yeah.
Mr. Michael Fuller.
You can just call me Dr. Mike for the night.
So him being.
But go ahead.
And you know what? We should call you Doc because there's a 16-year-old kid listening. I'm
No.
glad
No.
you said that.
No. I ain't gonna call you Dr. Mike.
No, I got to.
No. I ain't gonna call you Dr. Mike. We'll call him Dr. Fuller. Let's be respectful.
Dr. Fuller. We'll call him Dr. Fuller. No, we call you Dr. Fuller. We will address you by Dr. Fuller because you're gonna
now.
No, we have to.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I was joking with
Wait,
him.
now you didn't know.
Anyways,
You let the cat out the bag.
Yeah, get him. Go ahead, get him.
I was joking with you.
But I got
go ahead.
But hey, listen, Doc. I got to say something to you though, man. Now you are one of the people that we look to protect the black man, and right now you shitting on Deontay Wilder because he doesn't articulate himself the way you want him to. And now this is the thing about it. This is what I'm saying though. You can't doubt the man's work ethic because he doesn't pronunciate the words how you want him to. All right, let's be honest. The man started boxing at 21 years old. He came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? The man was working on a beer truck to becoming a world champion of the world. The heavyweight champion of the world.
I acknowledge all of that, man.
But what I'm saying is, though, you can't say his work ethic is bad because his education is not where you want it to be at. Well, how's that a character flaw? Because he lacks education? That's a character flaw?
No, I explained. I crossed it over, right? Here's the thing, man. As you live and learn, what you realize is that no matter how much you learn or how old you get, there's always room for growth. You understand? And when you talk about the human existence, we exist in basically three arenas: the physical arena, the spiritual arena, and the mental arena. All those things you have to continue to improve on as you age. Life is it's a marathon. It's not a race, right? So during that, you have to the day you die, you have to think about ways you can continually improve yourself in order to propagate life. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being humble enough to know that you don't know everything and that you need to continue to grow. That's what I'm talking about. And so for me, when I look at Deontay Wilder, and I don't know the man personally, I'm looking from a 1,000-foot view, right? But I'm saying that I thought that when he went and took the Malik, this is how it crosses over to boxing. I thought when he went and got Malik Scott to prepare him for Tyson Fury, a guy that he already just washed, knocked him out cold, right? I thought that was, how much can you really listen to a guy that you just rolled over, you steamrolled, right? How much can you really, because at the bottom line, in order to win a fight like that, you're going to have to tell your fighter to do certain things that he really doesn't want to do. He might not want to do that road work, he might not want to do it. And obviously, he didn't do it because he was gulping down water first and second round after first and second round on both of them last 2 fights. So he wasn't doing any road work. So you might have to tell him, hey, man, you need to get your wind up. You need to get your road work done. How much are you going to listen to a guy that's telling you something that you really don't want to do and you don't think you have to do? If you washed him, you knocked him out clean in the last time you fought. What I'm trying to say is that I think he's used to being surrounded by a bunch of people who either are afraid of him or they're just a bunch of yes men. They don't tell him what he really needs to hear. And that's a trait of someone who's really unteachable. And I think when you look at just a basic thing like an interview, and the guy still is speaking like he's functionally illiterate after years of making millions and millions of dollars, that he hasn't improved his public speaking, his ability to speak, interview, and in public. It lets me know there's a character trait there where he's unteachable.
Hey, Mike,
it's unteachable. That's my view. You don't have to accept it.
Birdman, be patient. You can wait.
Okay.
Go ahead, Birdman.
Hey, Mike, would you say the same thing about Deion Sanders?
I would not. And you know why?
Wait, let me finish. Because, you know, that poetic guy that was on this show like a couple of weeks ago, they didn't have anything but to say to talk about Deion about. So guess what they did? They started talking about the way he talks at 55. Like Deion been talking that way all his life. Like Wilder's been talking that way all his life. If older people understand him, if you understand him, so why does he have to change? It don't make him look bad. It don't make us look bad.
No, sir. What I'm saying to you is if you listen to Deion talk, Deion is a very articulate man. If you listen to him talk, he's got an interview where he did an interview on stage. He had an interview with. I'll look it up. I'll find it.
I followed Deion Sanders' whole career, but he does speak a lot of
Birdman.
But he knows how to talk.
Birdman,
he knows how to.
Michael Fuller is.
Let me say this one quick.
Stating something that's very uncomfortable, and I understand it. Deontay Wilder's a great fighter. He's not saying nothing about his fighting ability. This man is just pointing out something. Michael Fuller is a guy that points out things that make me uncomfortable. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong in my mind. Every day we're not always going to be right. I'm going to say this. To try to compare him to
why
Deion
wasn't he the system of racism this time?
Stop. Hold on. To compare him to Deion Sanders.
Birdman go, then you
to compare him to Deion Sanders is an injustice because Deion Sanders spent 4 years or 3 years at Florida State University. Then he also went to the NFL, and he's probably been trained to speak because you would not be on the NFL network if you did not know how to speak. And he has had interviews throughout all his career. That is no comparison
what I was trying to compare it to is Deion's comfortable in his own skin. Wilder is comfortable in his own skin. If we understand it, like, why does that set us back? Like I got another one. Bo Jackson didn't speak that well, but he was on a lot of interviews.
Let me say,
we're talking about Hall of Fame.
I would say, you know what? If Bo Jackson didn't speak as well, if he spoke as like Deontay Wilder, and he was in the public light, then I would say the same thing about him. What I'm trying to say is this, man. I'm trying to say that Deion speaks 2 languages, just like I do. I can cuss anyone out on this platform if I wanted to, and it sounds just like I came off the street corner.
But why is that a critique about his Hall of Fame, though, just because he don't speak?
Let me finish, man. Let me finish. I'm trying to make a point. What I'm saying is that Deion speaks, I guess some people may call it Ebonics or hood speak, but he also speaks boardroom, very articulate. And all you have to do is listen to him when he's in one of his interviews. It's obvious that this man is very intellectual, very intuitive, right?
Half the Southern Baptist preachers speak like that, man. What are you talking about?
You don't have
to agree with what I'm saying.
You can disagree with what I'm saying,
but you don't have to agree with it.
I'm gonna just say this, man. This is a problem that we have, Fred. A lot of time as African American people. We refuse to listen to our elders and those who have higher levels of education than us. And we bring it back down to a base level of whatever education we have. I don't have the degrees he has, but as a man, I've learned to respect doctors, PhDs, and all those other guys because they're needed in the community to take the community further than I could take it at my level. There are certain people that they can reach, and there are certain people that I can reach. Their critiques should not be pushed to the side because they hurt your feelings. Their critiques are real. At the end of the day, the NFL is not going to interview Lamar Jackson if he can't speak to the media every week, which he's assigned to do. The NBA as well, MLB as well. What he's critiquing is just a fact. I understand it. It's uncomfortable. I love the guy as a fighter. Great fighter. He's not saying that. But for people to have this thought process that you can't criticize something, it just baffles me. I love the guy. Great fighter. I'm not saying that.
What do we say about Shannon Sharp though?
Kyle, let me get the super chat. Avery Adams, Fuller. Y'all gotta help me out. Hey Kyle, do you know what this one means? Shut the
fuck up.
Shut the everlasting fuck up.
I want to Google this. So go ahead, Kyle, because I want to read this super chat correctly. But go ahead.
So what I'm saying, what about Shannon Sharp?
What about him?
What you mean, what about him? He talked just like Deontay Wilder. They both country as hell.
Well, no, he doesn't. I mean,
he does. Hey, skip, but you got to believe this, right? He be making up words too. Come on,
well,
man.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. I mean, it's an obvious difference, man. I think every word that he says.
It's an obvious difference, yeah.
It ain't that obvious, bro. Man. It's not that obvious. And whatever happened to the system of racism? Now all of a sudden, racism don't play nothing to do with Deontay Wilder. It play everything else. And when it comes to Deontay Wilder, it ain't racism. This is crazy.
It's nitpicking on the rich guy, on the rich black guys.
This is craziness, man.
I said it's just nitpicking on the rich black guys. I understand what Mike's saying, but man, that's just nitpicking.
Shut the fuck up. That's what it stands for.
I told you that already.
Shut the fuck up.
Fuller, this just goes to show that constructive criticism and which could allow us to become better. Because if Michael Fuller can teach me something that Fred can't teach me, black people don't want to accept it, bro. They don't want
what these brothers don't realize.
They refuse it, bro. I'm just telling you.
I understand 100%. What they don't realize is that you're okay. I'm just, man, I don't really want to get into this.
No, get into
just let it go, Mike. Just let it go, Mike.
I don't want to get it.
Mike. They don't need it. Just let it go, Mike. Just let it go.
All right. Well, before Mike gather his thoughts. Fuller, shut the fuck up. Please find something better to do. Thank you, brother. Sincerely, Avery Adams. So,
okay.
I'm sorry. See, that's why you got to beam in, man. I forgot about you.
I mean,
okay. All right, go ahead.
Hey, is it the fact that when my bad,
Jerry, get off. Then you can go. Oh no, Mr. Fuller gonna respond. Then you, Birdman.
Okay.
Wilder's longtime trainer, Mark Breland, said about Wilder, untrainable, flat out. So I understand where Mike's coming from with that assessment. However, I got less problems with Wilder using words out of context than I do him consistently saying that he wants a body on his record. I don't know why. It seems like a lot of folks don't seem to have an issue with him saying that. And to me, he's been asked several times, oh, come on, man, you really don't mean that, do you? And he doubles down and says, yes, I mean it. I do. Wow. I mean, I don't know why. I've never really heard a fighter say that, man. Typically, they say, hey, thank God, I'm praying, I pray that both of us come out. Or after the fight, they'll say something like that. But he's up there saying that, man, and saying it like he means it. And I got a big problem with that. Using words out of context, a lot of people do that. And, I agree that we should strive not to do that. But, I mean, I'm probably guilty of it at times to a degree, but not because I want to. But that's what happens sometimes when people get some money. They start wanting to use, a vernacular that they've heard, but maybe they don't quite understand entirely. They don't have a grasp on it entirely, but they try to use it anyway. That's what I hear sometimes from him. But I hear that from a lot of people, especially athletes.
Right. Go ahead, Dr. Fuller.
I was joking with Kyle. You can just call me Mike.
Too late.
But
somebody's son is watching, daughter is watching.
but my point is just that I think we need to realize that. Wow, I don't think this is something that's particular to Western society, but it's something that's a standard all over the world in every developed country and developed society in the world. A mark of your humanity is your ability to use your primary language and to use it effectively. The difference between an animal and a human being, one of the major differences is thought and the ability to communicate those thoughts. Communication is really a unique characteristic that human beings have, both the spoken and written word. And if you want to go back to the race thing and the historical acts, that's why when our ancestors, I'm talking to black folks now, when we were in this country and enslaved for over 300 years in chattel slavery, if you were found that you could read or write, they would either kill you or cut your index finger and your thumb off. So you couldn't hold a book. You understand? So what I'm saying is that when you come in front of a camera and present yourself as a representative of the people that you are a part of just by the nature of this country, the ethnicity that you prescribe to due to the melanin in your skin, your community background, and so forth, present yourself as an intelligent human being that's able to use your primary language as it's supposed to be used in both the spoken and written form.
But I thought you were my turn now, right, Fred?
Oh, yes, Birdman. Then we're going to let Ryle get off for sure.
Hey, but I thought you were a historian. So the spoken language of America is not our original language. It's foreign to us. That's why we don't excel in it that well. But he's supposed to, you're basically saying he needs to put on his white man voice like we all do when we go try to get a job or an interview or something, when we speaking to certain people. If he's just speaking to people in general, if people understand it, then maybe. I mean,
no, what I'm saying is that the words that he uses, what I'm saying is it doesn't really matter what your language was or what our language was before we were brought here.
No, I'm just saying that I figured that you would say you wouldn't have a problem with the way Wilder talks.
I heard what you said.
But the way he articulates his words, you have a problem with it. When we're talking about Hall of Fame, we still respect him regardless of how he talks. People come from different shades of life, talk differently. But if you understand it, that's universal language.
I heard what you said, but this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that no matter what language you spoke before or our people spoke before, I don't really know what your background is, ethnicity, but I'm going to assume that you got black blood. So at this point, what I'm saying is that African-American people that are here, no matter what language that we spoke beforehand, right now, our primary means of communication, by and large, is the English language. For you not to be able to use in both the literal and spoken form your English language, or primary means of communication properly, that is a sign of ignorance. And that sign of ignorance has very much to do with your dehumanization back to an animalistic state, which was done for centuries. Which was done for centuries in this country. You cannot sit on international television and say a word that you and pretty much massacre the word because you don't know how to pronounce it and you don't know how to spell it and you don't know what it means. And that happens. If you go back and listen to this new interview with Deontay Wilder on The Pivot, there's a certain part of that where he begins out talking about he was going to shoot someone, and it's just completely embarrassing. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that in order to transition from that state of being classified as an animal to actually coming into that full place of being a human being, you have to be able to use your primary language articulately and effectively in both the spoken and written form.
How do you know he
You don't
can't
have to
spell
like
the
it.
word?
Wait,
though?
wait,
You
wait,
have
wait,
to
wait,
like
wait,
it.
wait. No, we gotta let
That's
Raul
my
get off
opinion.
out there.
Yeah.
I got to go back to him though, Fred.
No, we gotta let Raul. Raul been waiting patiently, man.
All
I gotta
right,
be
all right, all right.
respectful, man. I gotta be respectful. Go ahead, Raul.
Okay.
Thank you for waiting, dog.
Thanks, Fred.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm a little confused. You know, Brother Fuller. Have you ever been down south?
Yeah, I've been all over the world.
Areas speak that way. So this man ain't he's not out here trying to be a scholar. I mean, he ain't communicating like buckwheat. You making it like we talking about Hall of Fame here, his boxing career. Like why are we discussing about if he's pronouncing something correctly or incorrectly? Like if you don't like the man, say that you don't like the man. But that English language ain't our native tongue anyway. So
I love the brother.
You
I love him. I don't just like him. I love him. I don't just like the brother. I love him.
But you nitpicking about something that ain't got nothing to do with him being in the Hall of Fame.
I understand what you're saying, bro. And I understand what you're saying. And you know what? I don't even expect you to understand what I'm talking about. I don't.
I'm
and
not
that's
saying
the
you
sad
don't.
part. No, but no. I don't expect you to
about.
understand. I don't expect you to understand what I'm talking about. But that's the sad
why you don't
part.
expect me to understand?
That's the sad part, bro.
You don't know my level of education. You assuming.
Well, the fact that you have no idea what I'm talking about, it lets me know that.
But I'm saying, why are you talking about that when we talking about Hall of Fame?
I'm talking about it because they asked. I'm talking about it. Number one, I'm talking about it. Number one, because I was asked a question about Deontay Wilder, and someone brought up the interview that he had earlier today, and I made a comment on that. That's the first reason why I'm talking about it. The second reason that I'm talking about it because I'm a grown man, and I talk about whatever I want to talk about.
I ain't saying you couldn't, but what I'm saying is,
all right,
you're nitpicking. This man is a prize fighter. He's not a English major, so he don't need to speak the way you want him to speak. Now, listen to you every, and I usually agree with you what you're saying, but right now you're on some BS. Straight up.
What was that? What was that?
You on some BS on Cooking with the Champ and Cooking with the Champ. And then you got Bird. Oh, we got Kyle, right? Kyle, you're up. And never thought I would disagree with Full. Wilder is not as bad as Tank was. Wilder just a country boy. Fred, I'm heading home to we doing cooking. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Why you ask me that question?
I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out to see what you cooking, champ.
Why you asking? Are we doing Cooking with the Champ? It may take a minute because this is a good conversation because I think this is bigger than just.
No, I just think I mean, the bottom line. Here's the thing, man. I could say, okay, Fred can say he's a guy. He's a real estate tycoon or whatever.
Whoa.
I can say, I'm a retired military officer, nuclear engineer. Birdman, I think you're in the mechanical engineering. You do some kind of mechanical engineering with vehicles.
No, I do medical contracts, cleaning.
Okay. Whatever you say that you do, right? That's a lot different from who you are. You understand? As a human being, who you are as a human being. I don't care if you box. I don't care if you play football. I don't care what you do for a living. Your status as a human being is first and foremost. That should be your primary, first and foremost priority, to establish yourself as a human being on this planet. Not as a subhuman being, but as a human being on this planet, deserving of all the equal rights and protections of any other human being that walks on the face of this earth. And I'm saying one of the primary characteristics of a human being is the ability to communicate effectively with the primary language that they utilize. And you have to be able to do that both in the written and spoken forms.
Mr.
Anything
Fuller.
less than that has both historically and in modern day reality classifies you as a subhuman, as someone who does not deserve the rights and privileges of everyone else that walks the face of the earth that has those capabilities.
The
His
majority
boxing
of
career does not supersede his humanity. Your ability to communicate effectively defines your humanity. You're placed as a part of the human family and society. You don't have to understand that, but go think about it for a while and see if God will give you that understanding.
Quick, I got a question for you though. If somebody has a speech impediment, right, but they got a doctorate degree, does them having a speech impediment, does that make them uneducated and ignorant?
Of course not.
So what if he got a speech impediment? What if he got a speech impediment that he never even talked about?
Huh. You listen to Deontay Wilder, man.
So let me tell you this though.
That's not a speech impediment, sir.
Because sometimes if you got a speech impediment, right, and in your brain you're saying it the right way, but when you try to pronounce it, it don't come out the way your brain is telling you to say it. You understand?
I know the difference between.
He couldn't understand.
I know. Well, you gonna let me answer? You gonna let me answer? Or you gonna answer for me?
Man, he's from the South. Who cares?
You gonna let me answer? Or you gonna answer for me?
Go ahead, Dr. Mike, man. Let him answer. Let him answer so we can get.
No, I'll let him answer for me. Go ahead, answer for me.
Hey, but you gotta know the
smart shit.
But the majority of I'll answer it for you. The majority of the black kids that take tests in the United States, you know what they come short of is language and literature. So everything else they excel in.
Math and science.
No.
Man, who cares? We don't watch Wilder to see how he talks. Watch him to knock motherfuckers out. He cannot say a word for the rest of his life. I don't care.
Anyway, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop there, guys. You don't have to expect. You don't have to understand or respect what I'm saying. I don't.
But he's a good businessman, so that means
one day you will.
Far, right?
I hope either you will or your children will, so that we'll be on this planet in the next 300 years.
But who are we trying to impress, though? Who are we trying to impress by the way we talk?
No credit.
What I'm saying is, I know you don't understand.
Hey, 1 second, Rob. Let him get off. Go ahead.
I know you don't. I know you either don't want to understand or you honestly don't understand. Whatever the case may be. The only thing is, I hope that one day you will understand, or at least your children or your children's children will understand. So in the next 300 years, we'll still be on this planet as United States citizens, or we're going to end up being relics in a museum somewhere. Because that's what it's coming down to.
Hey, Mike, I got one for you.
You either educate yourself and prepare yourself for the future, or you won't be here.
But I got one for you, Mike. My stepdad speaks like really Southern, right? I understand he called Pensacola, Florida, Pensacola, Florida. But I understand what he's saying, and I still respect him for it. I mean, he's still wise. Look, he retired. He ain't bankrupt or nothing, so he must be doing something right out of life. And I didn't grow up talking like him. When I'm around him all the time, right? It don't matter how you talk. He's from the deep South, man. You know how people talk in Tuscaloosa? Black and white talk just like that, man. That's just
I can talk like that too. That's not the point.
So if you were on the committee, Mike, you wouldn't let him in because of the way he talked, not because of his performance?
What are you talking about? What committee?
Hall of Fame committee for Wilder.
I said he was a Hall of Famer. I'm not talking about his boxing career.
You critiqued how he talked.
I'm not talking about his boxing career.
You just critiqued his work ethic because you said he lacks.
So yeah, he just. So let me ask you this, Michael. I mean, Dr. Phil. Do you think that how you know it's important? It's a 7-year-old kid.
You calling me Dr. Fuller in a satirical way?
No, I
just
swear
call
to
me
God,
Mike.
No, I'm not
calling
Mike, man. No, I am not doing that.
Go ahead.
But anyway, do you believe how you do one thing is how you do everything? KP said
I do, sir. I do.
Okay.
I do. That's why I said his ability. That's why I said the lack of progress in his ability to public speak and to gain a better mastery of the English language from a spoken aspect, because I don't know how he writes. I don't see any improvement. And so that particular characteristic, it kind of bleeds over to what I've seen in his boxing career and what's actually been said. I think who was Jeff brought that up? Who brought that up? Basically someone, huh?
Oh, I don't know about what.
Someone brought up the fact that Mark Greeland mentioned the same thing.
Jerry,
that he wasn't teachable, right? And so my point is that it kind of bleeds over. That's what I'm saying. And I don't know the man personally. I love the brother. But for me, out of love, what I will say to him is, hey man, you need to work on this particular area. And you know what? People, for me, I want people around me to tell me the truth. You understand? If you see something wrong with me, I want you to tell me. I want you to say, hey, man, you need to get better in this area.
We tell you every night. You don't listen.
But nothing's wrong with the way he talks. He reads all the time. You watch his interview. He say he likes to read books.
That man changed everybody in his family and his family's family life. And you talking about how the man speak.
It's part of his character. I like the way he talks.
You know what? I understand that I live a reality, and most of you guys, y'all can't understand what I'm saying.
But you got me.
You're right about that,
Jerry. Because one minute, not Jerry, Mike. 1 minute you're all about the black and you want what's right and reparation, and 1 minute you're going to you critiquing about.
You sound like a clown.
The way he talks.
You sound like a clown. You sound like a clown. Okay? You sound like a clown. You know what? You know why I'm coming at you like that, Birdman? You know why I'm coming at you like that? Because you talking disrespectful to me.
I'm not talking disrespectful to you. I'm talking to you, and I didn't call you no name.
This is what I'm gonna tell you. When it's all said and done, of course I talk about that stuff because I want the condition of our people to be addressed. Because anyone can see. We're on the verge of being extinct. You understand the way that things are going? If we keep going down this road,
you're crazy, bro.
People in this country are going to be nothing but relics in the museum in the next 300 years.
I feel like you're straddling the fence right now. You can't be one thing and go against another.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is that the things that I talk about, I'm talking about how to get better, how to do things better. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And if you can't accept that, that's on you.
Hey, Jerry, I just feel like that is more important things to talk about than how a guy talks. And as long as he carries himself as a man, I don't care how he talks about. I don't care. As long as he don't lie to my face and call me this and call me that, he's still a man. I give a care. As long as I understand him, he ain't deaf. I ain't deaf. I understand him. All that other stuff is just BS. That's just nitpicking on a millionaire.
But you're missing the point, though.
I get the point. You want him to talk all white like you, Jerry, right?
No. Let me say this. And
he ain't Terry Pendleton.
Wait, now come on, let the man talk, man. We go in order, man. Go ahead, Jerry. He can just.
El said it the best the other night, and the more I hear Michael, the more I realize me and him probably agree on many more things than we disagree on. Yes, he speaks out for black people, but you got to understand the higher point that he's making there. It's never good for anyone, black or white, to sound uneducated if you can help it. You see what I mean? Now, I will say this, as a fighter, I don't know how much we can expect from him, because fighters a lot of times, and athletes in general, oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes, they're not the most articulate guys, regardless of their race. And if you're from the country, a lot of times, yeah. But the bigger point that he's making is, Wilder's got plenty of money. If nothing else, when he says someone should get in his ear and say, look, here's an area you might want to try to make a little bit of improvement. If nothing else, don't try to use words that you using out of context, that there's nothing wrong with that. That's a self-improvement thing, man. That's for the betterment of black people. So you got to see the higher point there.
I get that.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. What he's
but
saying.
It's still nitpicking because all right. Put it this way. Say for instance, all right, Wilder talks crazy, right? that's just that's to his advantage. People can just think he's dumb all he's wanting to, but as long as he knows and he's comfortable as himself and he knows he's taking care of business, it shouldn't matter. That's his advantage, an advantage for him. People can underestimate him. Let him go ahead and underestimate him.
Because when people hear you speak and you use words out of context and you mispronounce them, there's a innate assumption that you're ignorant, white or black.
Well, let them think.
Well,
they can assume anything they want with their bank account.
That. If nothing else, do this simple thing. Don't try to use words that you don't understand. Just be a plain talker. I mean, maybe that would be the answer.
It's not our place to tell somebody how to talk, though.
Okay.
Grave Digger says Fuller is right. Wilder should use words he know, and I'm from Alabama.
Man, we got one of the. Listen, I got the best co-host besides myself in all the world, right? And he is the countryest nigga we know.
DJ.
Daddy Jones, man.
Oh, DJ.
He the most he educated. You know what I'm saying? And he still talk country as hell. Yes. That don't make him less educated, right? He 4-year degree. He graduated from a HBCU. Right. You know what I'm saying? Doing well for himself.
It's just different. It's different because country people, we don't care what people think about us, man. We pay our bills by our hard work. We care less how people think we should say the word the, though, or the. You know, we don't care about that.
Well,
but it's the difference between speaking country. It's one difference between speaking country and being uncomfortable communicating. And I think that's what Mike's saying. When you're uncomfortable communicating, because even when somebody brought up the example of Shannon Sharp, his communication was terrible when he started. Now, we can still nitpick about the way he talks now, but he's come leaps and bounds to where he was initially. And a prime example of that would be like Magic Johnson. When he retired, they wanted him to be a broadcaster. They put him on a couple games when he was doing the play-by-play. He never could get it. He was terrible at it. So I think at some point, we have to realize that some people, they try certain things and they evolve. Shannon Sharp is a prime example. That brother, he speaks in his country way, and he's very good at what he does. But if you look at him when he initially was talking, he was very uncomfortable. He couldn't communicate very well. And right now, everybody accepts him for he was because you could understand what he's saying. You couldn't understand what he was saying, and you could tell that he was uncomfortable when he was talking. When you look at that Wilder interview, you could tell that he's uncomfortable when he's talking about what Mike Fuller's talking about. And I think we have to be able to understand that some people, it's not about you speaking a certain way. It's about you being comfortable enough in your skin. Whatever way you want to communicate, you're going to communicate that. But you could tell when somebody doesn't have a grasp of the language and they're very uncomfortable. I'm in a room with a lot of people in the corporate environment, and it doesn't have anything to do with you being a scholar. It has to be with you being able to effectively communicate whatever the hell you're communicating. And we're regular people. Most regular people can't, and when they can't communicate, they resort to violence. So as Black people, what ends up happening is Black athletes have a different kind of what can we say? They got a different type of responsibility when they're in a certain situation. We equate capitalism where they have money to wash away everything that they have, where they don't have to evolve, is what Mike is saying. Just because somebody's made X amount of money and they surround themselves with all these people that just agree with everything that they say, you can tell when somebody's not evolved. We have to evolve in our everyday life. So why shouldn't athletes have to evolve? And they're the people that we see every day.
Man, if he starts speaking proper, y'all gonna call him a sellout and a coon and an Uncle Tom like you have everyone else, bro. Come on. You know it's coming. Hey, Chaotic Truth speaks very well. Very well. I don't hear y'all saying the same shit, giving him big props on his language skills.
Hey, they don't even do that. The guy who thinks he's white.
The guy that you said was okay to call kids hard R's as long as there was a lesson behind it. That guy.
Hey, he had a whole live on Deion Sanders the way he talked at 55. So ain't nobody telling that to Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley still talk like this, man.
You know who else got great communication skills? Pimps. Pimps are good with the mouthpiece.
We talking about millionaires.
let me say this too, though. Let me say this, though.
You got them trained, bro.
But
I don't
listen,
know. Is this your impact? Because these cats here, man, they something.
Why you throwing me in a but I do want to
train, man.
Go ahead, Kyle. The thing is, man, when people think that they are above everything, it kind of gets under my damn skin, because you don't know if he has a speech impediment or not. We don't know this.
That's funny, man.
Damn.
I'm just keeping it real, bro, because at the end of the day,
no, you're not keeping it real.
How am I not keeping it real? How am I not keeping it real? Because you don't know, I don't know. Nobody on this panel knows if you got a speech impediment or not. We don't know.
We don't. You know why you're not keeping it real? This is why you're not keeping it real.
See, you just said will, man. Look, see? Now you uneducated. You just messed up on the word. You see that? You just messed up on the word. Now you
no. But the thing is, okay, I'm not saying you have to speak perfectly, man. I'm saying at least know what the words that you use, know how to read them, how to write them, and how to use them in a sentence properly.
You don't know if he
can't read and write. I can say a lot of words. I can't spell half of them though. But I know how to articulate them. I bet you Charles Barkley can spell or read, but nobody's saying anything about him.
And so my point is, if that's your situation, you need to get better. You need to get better. And I care enough to tell you.
I think you spend too much time in school, Mr. Fuller, where you're disconnected from human beings.
Right.
In reality, bro. You're just in books your whole life, and that's all you learned about humans was through books. Not everyone's going to be a perfect being and good at every single subject, bro. So
they don't understand the bigger point.
I get the bigger point, but it still don't make any sense.
You're missing it. That's okay.
You gotta be able to.
You're like them Asian kids that weren't allowed to go outside. You just had to read in your books all day, every day. And then when the time in the real world, you just don't know how to talk to people. Don't know how to understand people.
Max, let me ask you a question, Max. Let me say this. You guys go on your job. You guys go on your job, and they create conflict with you. You have a problem with your boss, your supervisor, your manager, your owner, and you're not that great at communication. What you going to resort to, and where that's going to get you? That's the issue right now. Everybody's not on that level where they can afford to make those kind of mistakes.
But just because you can talk properly doesn't still mean you're good at communicating. Communicating has to do with understanding too.
Communicate, Max.
If you can't
communicate and you have a problem, how do you resolve it? If you as a man can't communicate and you have a problem or a conflict at work, in life, how do you resolve it? How do you resolve it again?
What? I can't tell you that. I speak up all times. So
hey, my boss, my best friend, he's Pakistani, right? I can halfway understand him. I've been with him for 7 years, but we still communicate. I understand half of what he says. I'll ask him again, but we still communicate. Does that make sense to you?
So can I ask you a question?
So what I'm saying is this: his English is not his first language, right? He speaks another language, correct?
He speaks English and he speaks whatever they speak in Pakistan, Arabic or whatever. Okay. I don't know. I'm off.
So he speaks another language. So what I'm saying is that's why I emphasize your primary language, your primary means of communication, which is English for most African Americans. That language needs to be written and spoken to an acceptable level where you can communicate your thoughts and ideas effectively. And you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be able to use words that you understand, how to read, write, and the meaning of it.
Hey, Wilder's kids already understand how to do that. They're teaching that in school. They didn't do public speaking in the state of Alabama until what, 1996, 97.
They're not the heavyweight champion of the world or the ex-heavyweight champion of the world. He's a international figure. You understand? And so it's important for him to be able to go from that debased state of being considered subhuman because of his I mean, really, that's and then see, you guys don't understand the tie, but I laid it out for you. I laid it out for you. I went back and started from foundation and tried to build you back up so you understood what I was talking about, but you wasn't listening. Okay, when it comes down to it, the one thing that separates animals from human beings is the ability to use spoken and written language to communicate. Spoken and written language to communicate. That is what separates, and that's why when black people were in this country for the first 350 years we were here, if they found out that you could read or write, they would cut your thumb off or your forefinger, or you would get murked. Okay, all right. Because
I got that. I know that, but that has nothing to do with
mind.
what
Hold
we're
on.
talking about.
Once you develop your mind and you're able to effectively use written and spoken communication, then you are no longer, because that is a means of cultivating thought. You are no longer fit to be a slave. You understand?
He knows how to read and write. God damn, you act like he's deaf, blind, and dumb. Like
he's not using those big words that they wanted him to use. That's why, or he's using words they say he don't know the definition.
Okay, but if he's trying to use big words that he doesn't know how to use, doesn't that prove that he's trying?
I smile when he does that, though, man. It's funny to me, but I still like him. I mean,
I'm out here bullshit every day on this.
You know what? Here's what I just did for you guys, man.
Yeah, when you call someone subhuman, bro, that's kind of is saying that's a little more than just you need to do better.
What I'm trying to say is that's how that definition is.
We're not on the plantation anymore, Mike. Surprise. Surprise.
Hey, this is
so
what
look
I'm
at your
do,
calendar,
man.
buddy.
I think you're funny. I think you guys are funny, but you know what? You know what's
I think you're
happen,
funny
though?
too. You be in the house by the way you sound, so shut up.
Let him go. You know what's going to happen if, as a result of you not listening, especially for you black gentlemen that are not listening to me. What's going to happen is eventually the joke's going to be on you.
It can't be. You know why?
No, let him get off.
And you may not understand this, but you know this. The world is changing before our very eyes, brother. The world is changing before our very eyes. I heard Fred talking about the homeless there in Los Angeles. Here's a statistic for you, okay? Maybe this will help you a little bit. 7% of Los Angeles County is black, African American. Almost 40% of the homeless in Los Angeles County is African American. You go to any major city.
Wow.
You go to any major city in the United States, and you go to any of these inner cities, and it's a devastated area. There's no development. There's no economic development. Educational system is poor. Healthcare is poor. Public services are poor. The water, trash. Man, I'm trying to tell you guys, if you don't learn, participate in investing in the development of your mind and your ability to process information and thought, you're going to be in trouble.
Well, Kevin Brower says, if Mr. Food went to Louisiana, he'd be very upset. Something's wrong with your Wi-Fi. So who want Birdman? You want the response. So go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot my train of thought, bro. Skip me.
Okay. Anybody else want to respond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jerry, there you go. I keep on forgetting about you. Go ahead, dog. Go ahead.
Yeah, but let me say this one more point.
Wait.
Go ahead.
What me, Fred?
I asked you. You didn't say anything, but go ahead, Jerry.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's a simple thing. Sounding like you're educated. The people here who don't think that it's important that you be able to effectively communicate are the same people that probably don't think that you need to know how to spell the difference between your, and your. You see, when there's 3 different spellings there, and yeah, I mean it's important that you know that. I think, like I said before, with athletes, a lot of times for me, I don't want to say I give them a pass, but the expectation's a little bit lower because a lot of times they just, for whatever reason, and especially boxing, taking blows to the head. I mean, I've heard plenty of white fighters use words out of context, but again, it's the bigger point. It's the bigger point that Mike is making, and you better pay attention, like he says, to those larger points and see the forest despite of the trees, because when act like they don't matter, they're going to add up at some point and matter. And what he says about communicating and that separating humans from animals is dead on. Dead on.
Well, you older guys are in trouble because the young kids are abbreviating and saying half words now. So I don't know how y'all gonna communicate.
Well, we can see that we're in trouble looking at the young generation.
Okay, let me ask you this question though. Do you feel like go ahead. No, do you feel like this is effective communication? Condescending tones, I'm smarter than you, y'all don't know shit, y'all subhuman. You think that's effective communication regardless of what words are being used?
I never said anyone was subhuman. I never called anyone here subhuman.
You said if people can't articulate themselves properly, then they're subhuman. I'm not saying you called anyone here that, but I'm saying that's a statement made. So you think your point is getting across effectively? What
I said is that's what you're classified as, subhuman.
By who? You?
By society.
That's not true.
No. I mean, that's it's not. I don't think it's just a Western thought thing. But it's definitely the truth in the West.
Yeah, that's at lunch and dinner tables of the rich and mighty who think they're better than everybody else.
Worry about how civilization. In Western civilization, that's definitely the case. But I think it's the case no matter where I said that before. I think it's the case no matter where you go in developed societies in the world. You have to be able to use their primary means of communication or language in the written and spoken form. You have to.
Yeah, Dr. Phil, let me ask you this. Do you think that it's a prerequisite for him to be a Hall of Famer, or you're talking just him as a human being and being a heavyweight champion of the world?
No, I do not think it's a prerequisite for him to be a Hall of Famer. I already said that I agree that he is a Hall of Famer based on his boxing accomplishments. Okay. I'm talking about more than just a Hall of Famer. I'm not talking about what he does. I'm talking about what he is as a human being. As a human being, as a human being that's allowed to walk the face of this earth and demand the same rights and protections as any other human being. One of your characteristics as a human being that differentiates yourself, that you can differentiate yourself from an animal by, is your ability to communicate in both the spoken and written forms. In your primary means of communication, whatever language that is.
Well, they disagree.
It's saying you're connected, El, but I can't hear you. But
no, I agree that you should be able to articulate yourself. Like you probably shouldn't be going there like, yo, what's good? Whoa, like some shit like that. But I don't think you have to be a fucking scholar and be like to the T about. I think as long as you get your message across respectfully and clearly, it don't matter.
I never said that. And you know what, Max, for you, I've listened to you communicate. You communicate well. No question about it. I don't agree with 90% of the stuff you say.
He's a piece of shit. No, he doesn't.
I don't agree with 90%. I don't agree with 90% of the stuff you say, but you do say what you say in a way that's understandable. So,
can you hear me, Fred?
Yeah, I'll get you. All right,
is that L?
Yeah, Sharks.
Okay.
Shark 7. He'll be up next. Floyd can't read, but he's still in the Hall of Fame. That's why I asked you that, because I thought you were correlating that with him not being able to make. Okay, L, go ahead, L.
Great subject, man. Great conversation, man. I've been listening in for about the last 45 minutes.
Oh, thank you,
man. Let me park because I want to get in on this, man. And I noticed this a lot, man, with just people, man. A lot of times we miss great points and we miss purposes because how the message is conveyed to us, and then our perception of the message. Yeah, it may have been an unattractive manner in which Brother Fuller, got the message across, but in all reality, it was correct. Like this happens a lot of times, and it's because of as humans we have a competitive nature, especially men. Like, we all deal with insecurities. We all deal with, mishaps and, we all have a personal outlook upon ourselves that may not be the best.
Things throughout my life,
I'm sorry. Let me take
so can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was working on Bluetooth.
So,
Go ahead.
so sometimes when somebody say something and it touches that insecurity, we lash out against it. You know, instead of just listening and seeing where it can apply and it can be beneficial for you. Like, I don't agree with the entire way in which Brother Fuller delivered it, because I don't believe you subhuman, but I do understand why he was saying like that. Like, we all got to understand, like, we all know each other. And if we know anybody the most, we know Michael Fuller the most, because he gives us all of him. Like, we know his backdrop, we know his backstory.
I respect that.
We know
You're right.
all this.
I never thought about that.
We know all this about him. We know he's been in the military.
Right.
We know he's very educated. So he see the world in a different lens. Why? Because that has been his reality. If you've been in the hood all day and you ain't never been abroad around the world, you're not going to be able to see the world in the way in which he's seen it. And remember, he didn't deal with things and he put you information that's far beyond our knowledge. He been in the military. And if you just know how the military operate, it's black or white. It ain't no gray area. It's either kill or be killed, survive, or famine. Like, so I get why he would say that, because in all reality in this world, it's a dog-eat-dog world. So you either seen as worthy or you subhuman. I get that. That's the real reality of it. Now, am I gonna look at another person like that? I'm not going, but I can see where Brother Fuller coming from. I understand the point, and he right. And Jerry mentioned a few things earlier that I like what he said. One thing he said that I agree with too, I'm gonna mention. He said about Wilder saying he wanted a body. I never liked Wilder saying that. We talked about this, Fred. I was always, I may have laughed about it like, damn, this nigga crazy, but he didn't double, triple, quadruple. He didn't double down on that shit so many times, and it's like, you gotta be humble, young man, because that ain't cool, homie. To say you want to kill a man in the ring or be killed, nigga, that's selfish to your own family to go out like that. Nigga, you got kids that love their daddy, nigga. You got a wife that love her husband. You don't want to do that because you got pride. Now that much pride is there because I'm gonna be honest, you hiding some ignorance that you have that you really don't want to change. That's where pride comes from, homie. Pride comes from being ignorant and you thinking too much of yourself. That's just the reality of it. I love
great insight.
I love Wilder.
Wow.
I love Wilder, but like I say with everybody else, and I start with me, the biggest room in the world is room for improvement. So if you don't want to improve yourself as a human being in all aspects of life, if you're not living, you dying.
Right.
It's cut, dry, and simple. And Jerry mentioned another thing that was quite eye-opening, because I say this all the time. And Fred, you know this. We done talked about this. He said, man, now that I'm starting to know Michael Fuller more and more, and he expressing himself, we probably got more things in common than we got, that we don't have in common. And this is the point I say all the time when it comes to human beings. I don't give a fuck if you're a racist, white Klansman, and I'm a Black Panther. We still got more things in common than we don't. You know why? We all have a goal in this life, and that's to survive. What do we need to survive? We need oxygen. We need food. We need money. Those three things that we all have in common are like 99% of anything that we can ever get to. That path leads to all doors. So the 1% things that we fighting over, that we having quarrels over, the color of our skin, our belief system, that shit don't mean shit. It means nothing. It means very little. And I've seen a brother that I know, he made a point today on his post, on an Instagram post. He said a lot of times people cut real people off for fake reasons. And he said they cut real people off for fake reasons and fake people off for real reasons. Or something he said to that. I hope y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. But a lot of times we do that, man. We'll argue with each other and not see the point. And it's like the point Mike is making is very useful, man. And it serves a purpose, man. You know, we may not like why he's saying it or how he's saying it, or may not be attractive, but man, it rings true, man. It rings true. We gotta stop, and for people to attack him like they're attacking him, and I get it, but the value he brings to the conversations that we have, even if that point was all the way ill-intended, like, are you going to discredit the value this man has brought to conversation pieces that we done had over the course of months? Like, we all got flaws. That's why I say a lot of times, if you want to find a flaw in me, and I'll give you a book, how many you want? I'll list them. We got to stop doing that as people, man. We kind of want to, you know, attack people all the time. Attack. Like, man, just respect the differences and see where that person can be beneficial, as long as it's not egregious. You know, Mike is a good brother. He ain't saying no shit like he believe in raping kids or killing people. Man, that's just personal preference on how he see that particular matter. Like, if we can be able to see it through his lens and give him understanding, because it's not totally like, you know, all the way out the works. You get what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yo, what did you say about ignorance? I want to write it down. What'd you say?
What part? How did it go?
Ignorance is ego. What was it? Pride.
I said when a person displays so much ego and has so much like pride, that's really because they're trying to blanket ignorance that they have. They really trying to blanket that ignorance. I didn't say it in that particular manner, but
I'll go back to the show.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
That
was a great quote. That was awesome.
I'm writing it down. 204. Yeah.
I see that with us a lot. Like I said before, Black people, we as a whole, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about as a whole. The majority of us have an inferior complex. Yeah. That's why, like Jerry mentioned, he mentioned this several times. He says sometimes we give white people too much credit. Why would we give white people too much credit? It's nothing that they do that is that like extraordinary. It's nothing that they do that's out of the out of range of being accomplished by anybody else. But why would a Black person, why would anybody think that? Oh, because you bought into the inferiority complex. Like I said, I've never felt nobody was better than me, let alone a motherfucker who think I'm less than. So if you, like, I'm a competitive person by nature, man. Let's compete, motherfucker. You think you can whoop my ass? Well, let's fight. We can fight 2 to 4 times. You think you're smarter than me? Let's put it to the test. Like, I thrive in these moments. I'm up for the challenge. I've never bought into the inferiority complex, but that's a conditioning to keep you in a particular place. Because if I control you mentally, I don't never have to lay a hand on you. You are an embodiment, and you show exactly who you. The person that you see existing in physical form, it's the person that person is showing you, and he's a materialization of his mental form. The person in physical is who he is mentally. Because you think about it, everything that we see in this physical world, right, that was created by men, right? A man used the physical matter that came from God's creation to create that in which we see. But where did that vision first start? It started in his mind. He had to think about that in his mind first, and then put forth the scientific method. he had to do that when people said it's not possible. They couldn't see it, but he saw it though, and he made it a reality. And only time people gave him credit when they seen that, wow, this motherfucker thought about that and he actually did it. So your physical embodiment is who you really are mentally. So anytime a person is showing pride, like an overzealous amount of pride, that's because they really trying to hide ignorance. I've studied people my whole life, and I've never failed when I analyze these things. It just listen to people talk, man. The most beautiful person is a person that can readily accept their faults and their shortcomings. Man, I'm a piece of shit. I had to come to the realization that I'm a piece of shit, and I'm lower than well shit without God.
Wow.
But
that's real talk.
I fool myself by having battles with myself because I'm trying to inwardly prove something to somebody else because I want to prove that I'm better than what that person think I am. But I'm really battling myself because I want to prove that I'm better than him. Like we gotta rid ourselves of that kind of spirit. You know, it's not progressive because as a society and as humans, man, we are social creatures, man. We need one another, no matter what we think or what kind of emotions we develop because of the disappointments that we experience with one another. We really need each other more than we think.
Yeah. Hey, El, I appreciate you speaking on my behalf, brother. And let me say something to you guys. Let me say something because I know you said because you believe in what I was saying. What I want to say to you guys is he's right. I was in the military, man. And for me, it is black and white. There's really no gray areas, right? It's either right or wrong, right? And so, and that's a shortcoming. That's a shortcoming that I may have in some ways. And what I want to say is I hope that you guys can take what I said, the content of what I said, and maybe not my delivery method, and understand that there is truth in that, and there's things that can help all of us out if we continue to remember that. And this is what I want to say too. When I talk about you guys know about the education and all that stuff that I've been through, man. The bottom line is I'm from the hood, brother. I grew up in the inner city. When I went to high school, the high school that I went to, the average reading level of those who graduated from my high school was on a seventh grade reading level. Okay. I was just blessed that I had a little math background I was able to get going to the military, and they looked at me and said, hey, we want you to take this, apply for this program. They allowed me to apply for a program. Then they sent me back to a college prep school that took that was about 18 months, and they took us to that school and they taught us English, math, chemistry, physics, all these different things, and brought us back up to speed where we need to be in order to do well, test to get into college. But that's how I went to college. I didn't start off with I started off, I told you guys I have only one brother, and he spent most of his time in locked up in prison, and he died in the streets. You understand? So when I talk to you brothers, man, I'm not talking to you from a elevated position, talking down at you. I'm trying to encourage you to prepare yourselves. I'm trying to encourage you to where there are holes in your person to get better at it, right? And so, and this communication piece we're talking about, being able to communicate in both the written and spoken word, that's a part of being a human being. That's a part of solidifying your spot within the social context of what it means to be a human being, because you're always going to have your humanity based on that's what God created you as a human. But I'm talking about from a social context to solidify your place as a human being in the society with equal rights and protections under the law. And so, again, I'm not trying to talk down to you brothers. Hey, the bottom line is when it comes to, I'm still like, even right now, I'm getting ready to go out and do some major research with a lab out on the East Coast, and we're going to be doing research on modular reactor, modular reactor design. We're going to be doing research on nuclear medicine, which is treatment for cancer. We're going to be doing research on materials that NASA uses to take the spacecrafts out in outer space because of the high radiation levels. They have to have certain material properties, and I'm going to be participating in all of that. But you know what? No matter where I go, man, where I'm from is right here. I'm from right here. That's why I come back to talk to you guys. That's why I come back to talk to you. And so I'm trying to tell you that, when I tell you guys things, I'm telling you that because I love you. Because when I see you, I see myself. That's it.
Hey, Mike, I got a buddy that I play music with that's a nuclear engineer here in Maryland. I don't know if it's Maryland or Virginia, but maybe both, seem to be a hotbed of nuclear activity. I don't know if there's some reactors still around here or just what the deal is, but
in Maryland,
in the Navy. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let me also say this to expound on the point. I'm a business owner, small business owner for 16 years. If you come and apply for me, my business has a lot of turnover in it, landscaping, but so I've had, over that time, probably 60, 70 employees. And I can tell the guys listening that if you come and apply to me for a job, if you can't communicate well, even though I'm hiring you as a landscape laborer, if I notice that you don't have a reasonable control over the English language, it doesn't mean that I'm flat out not going to hire you, but it's a strike. For me, it's a strike against you because something not right there. That if you can't speak reasonably well. Now, like I say, it doesn't mean, a lot of times I'm looking for a hard worker and the nature of the work doesn't require a ton of communication. But again, just to expound on the point that you're making, not everyone going to draw those conclusions, but a lot of society is going to make a character assessment about you when you don't speak that well. And I know that oftentimes you make a point to let it be known, and you've let it be known to me that oftentimes you're speaking for the benefit of Black folks, but that a lot of times I find the things that you say benefit anybody, regardless of the race. But a lot of it is lost, I think, generationally speaking, Mike, because I know you and I are the same age, and
right.
And no discredit to the younger guys that are here with us listening. They're just a different generation. And a lot of times they're not going to understand, or it's going to be very difficult to get them to understand something that has a point that's bigger than the subject matter. Like, it sounds to me like they're just irritated thinking that you're attacking Wilder. But to me, I don't see that what you're saying so much an attack on Wilder as it is that you see him as a Black man who's in front of cameras, and you want him to represent better. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. But I wonder if the generational gap is what makes it seem insignificant to others.
Right. And you hit that on the head. I'll agree with that.
Deacon, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, family? What's good with the panel? Too blessed to be stressed and highly favored. What's good, y'all?
Yes,
y'all know what's good, fam. All right. When I was listening to my brother Mike speak, and when you show cringe-worthy love, meaning that when we love somebody and we see somebody at any type of distress, we almost cringe when we see it because we want them to do well. You understand? So it's not a form of attack when our brother is speaking the way he's speaking, because I'm gonna say this, and this is how I feel personally. I think that our brother Michael Fuller is more courageous than me and most people on this panel and most people who are listening, because this is what I would call cringeworthy love. We love somebody so much till we cringe when we see them not doing as well as we would hope, right? And the boldness of Mike to come and say what he's saying, knowing that it's going to be backlash. I couldn't have did it, straight up. And I'll say that to my brother. I couldn't have came on this platform and did that. I don't have the courage to do that because I love this brother so much. And that would put me in the category of a coward, right? Because if I'm going outside and you say you love me and you see something that is not right, I need to wash my face or my breath may stink. This is not jokes. I'm just saying. And you notice that, but you allow me to go in front of people. I just got done talking to you. You notice these things, but you didn't address that to me. If you love me, you would say, hey, man, look, brother, go in there and clean your face and brush your teeth, man. And, you know, present yourself like you should. And that's out of love. Not any form of disrespect. It's because you're concerned about how I am carrying myself, how I am presenting myself, right? So I say to this brother, you are very bold and courageous, wise, articulate, and everything that you are saying that you want from an individual, you present it yourself. It would be another thing if you would be calling for this and you don't present it. That's a problem. That's where we should have a problem. That's what we can say, this guy is being hypocritical here. He's asking for something that he don't even produce himself. Right? So
good stuff.
So yeah, so we want to understand what it is that makes us who we are, what we are. Now, when we talk about the difference in the generational gap, think about the days of slavery and before slavery, right? Most of us was already here in this country, and our people fought against those who brought tyranny to take over, replace, reshape, rebrand, right? So those old guards who knew the way, who knew who they were, who knew their culture, who knew their God, religion, right? Now, you go out 1 or 2 generations beyond that. They don't know what the old guards knew. Now they're being told, look, you are from Africa. You're this, you're that. They don't know no better. They're being rebranded, reshaped. They're being taught something different. Now move to present day, right? Me and Mr. Fuller could get on this platform and tell you, hey, it wasn't like this in our day. It wasn't this, it was always killing, but this is a different type of carnage here. Killing with impunity, with no regard. Right now, I doubt if we can find a brother that could say that most Black people in our own communities, that we could walk around and feel that we're actually safe in our own communities. See, me and Mike can tell you, we could point back to a time where we could leave our doors unlocked. We could leave our windows up and leave the home. Come back, nobody's breaking in. You couldn't do that now. But I remember when I could go to a whole different city and my door was left unlocked. Why is it like that? Conditions have been set up, and the young people do not understand what it was before them. This is by design. There's nothing new under the sun. This has already happened before. So, of course, they are clueless, but it's up to us to feed them the truth. But we cannot make them accept it. We can just keep trying our best to get through to them. Why? Because we love them. Why? Because we understand it is for our survival. even after we're gone. Our work that we put in will still be in existence because we would put in things in place mentally, spiritually, that would allow them to exist, even after we're long gone. I have a thing about this tree. I would rather be a green fruit on the tree than to be that rotten fruit that is sure to soon fall and go back to the earth and rot and go back from which it came. As long as I stay green on that tree, I still have room for growth. So no matter how old I get, I still want to learn. I still desire to learn. I still desire to get better because information is the key. Information will help us get out of this. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have no information, it's a moot point. It's mute. But you don't have no information. Anyway.
Go ahead, champ. Welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, man? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, champion?
Champ, how you doing, sir?
Deacon, man. What's going on? Michael Fuller, my brother, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm doing good, sir.
Right, my man Birdman in the house, Pittsburgh, T, Kyle. Man, all my brothers, man.
Salute.
Yeah.
And, hey, is your ass cooking today or what, man?
We got a button on this topic. We got a button on this topic. Yeah,
we got it. We got it.
We got to finish it up.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm actually looking. Kyle, you said you wanted a Philly style cheesesteak. I'm actually looking for that meat, and I was talking to my cousin. He's a chef.
It's raining.
He was telling me that that's not real. That's not real beef. That meat that they use for Philly cheesesteak. So I'm trying to find the best beef that I can use to do that style sandwich for you.
Man, go ahead and make it go ahead and make it a vegan Philly cheese, man.
Yeah.
Porterhouse is good.
Yeah. Right.
Go to a butcher. If you got a butcher in your area, they sell it already chopped up.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I have to look for that. Let me
get that impossible meat, man.
You know impossible meat.
Get a porterhouse. Get a couple porterhouses, and
I just go in your deep freezer. Just mail them something from your deep freezer.
No, check it out. My cousin told me, he said that I could actually get a sirloin, season it, freeze it, and then slice it up. And I was like, man, that's a lot of preparation time. My channel is about fast, quick, easy type, meals. I'm not trying to, I can be really intricate with my stuff, but I try and make it, I dumb it down, so the cats can really repeat the recipes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not full of that, man, to dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah. But no, man, let me jump in on this, man. I definitely I get what Fuller is saying. Originally, I kind of took it as if he was being disrespectful, but as I thought about it more, I began to understand exactly what he was saying. I remember when Tank first started fighting, and he was first coming up on the scene. He did an interview. I think it was on a Breakfast Club. And like Deacon just said, it was cringeworthy listening to Tank in this interview, and I was like, God damn, and the first thing I said was, man, somebody's got to do something, what I'm saying, about his interview skills, him being able to communicate properly, because man, it was terrible. I don't know if you guys remember that interview, but it was horrible. And like Deacon was saying, when you have this admiration for these cats, you want them to do better. Now compared to then, Tank interview skills have improved. What I'm saying?
He's done a lot better. Yep.
He's a lot better. So I understand what you're saying, Mike, and I get exactly what you're saying. It makes sense. But yeah, man, that's what Deacon was saying. it reminded me of a quote by the immortal dragon, Bruce Lee. He says that life itself is your teacher, and you are always in a constant state of learning.
Damn, a Bruce Lee quote.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's very much, that's very apparent.
Yeah. I here's where I get into a lot of trouble with myself on a personal level, and when I'm having conversations with my friends. I grade every black man on the apex of existence. You know, me and Kyle had this conversation sometimes too, or we had it on the air where I give the greatest answer. Even, and sometimes when I give the answer, I am not that person. You understand? It may seem like the person because I'm speaking in absolute, and I always get the final say on the show. So it seems like, oh, Fred thinks he's Jesus Christ. He has this. Can Wilder get better? The answer is yes.
Of course.
You know, can we get better? Yes. And that's where we're at. And I genuinely believe that I believe he knows it. But we also got to consider the line of work that he's into. You know, like you get hit upside the head by 250-pound men.
Good point.
And I don't know where he's at in his brain development, or how much brain development has been taken away from him. You know, I've been around Wilder. He's functional. He's forward thinking. He's intelligent. He's crafty. He's sharp. He's witty. He's funny. He's all these things. And I would say I get mad at myself sometimes, and you guys can see it sometimes when I'm like, you know, like, and like for real, I get mad, like, fuck, man, like, fuck. So yes, we all have work that we need to be done. And when I watch people like Obama, I was like, damn, he is perfect. His body language, his poise, never too high, never too low. And I'm like, yeah.
Devin Haney speaks real good.
Yeah, Devin Haney is the
Fred. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Isn't it true also that Deontay Wilder went to school at Alabama State?
I don't know that.
College. He's been to college. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he went to a junior college or a 4-year college because he was a good athlete. So I'm pretty sure he played football or high school and then had a daughter and then maybe got a job. Maybe that's definitely a possibility because he's freakish athletic. Yeah.
So I don't think that our brother is calling Deontay Wilder dumb. What he's saying is improving speech. I wouldn't call it impediments, but I would say alignment, right? Like you go get your vehicle aligned. It runs.
I don't know his educational level or anything like that.
Right.
My point is that when he communicates, it sounds as if he's functionally illiterate. That's what it sounds. Not that you can't read, but you're not literate enough to really
I get what you're saying.
That English language the way you should. And you know what? Here's the thing, man. I'm not. It's like I told you guys, man. I come from nothing. You understand? Absolutely nothing. So I'm not saying that. I think that I'm trying to put this brother down, and I love this brother. I mean, it hurt me when he lost those fights.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I mean, the bottom line is, I want to see this brother do well. I'm just saying he's in the public eye. And I know we don't really see the intersectionality or how it's all connected, but how he presents himself to the world as a heavyweight champion, it affects us all. It really does. I mean, it may not not just, it's going to change your life, but it does have an impact on how the world sees the demographic that he represents.
No, the butterfly effect is real.
So with that, he's got a responsibility to make sure that he's able to communicate on a functional level, that we're not sitting there cringing when he's talking. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. So that's it.
Right. And like I was saying earlier, he's not near as bad Tank was when he was being interviewed at the Breakfast Club. And just to speak on Birdman's point, you know what I'm saying? Being a country boy in Alabama, they consider it an accent almost. You know what I'm saying? But so because of of where he's from, but it's like what's the director? Uh, Ryan Coogler.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear him speak, you know what I'm saying? There's certain ways that he pronounces, his words, and people have said it's just because he's from the Compton area, and that's just how they talk.
He's from Oakland. That's how.
Okay. I'm sorry. Right. Oakland. Yeah.
Don't ever forget that one of the greatest directors is from Oakland.
Right. So there's a difference in speech impediment and not knowing how to communicate properly. Being articulate. James Earl Jones is a perfect example. You would have never known that this guy stuttered. But now his voiceover is used, in the Star Wars franchise and Disney movies and things of that sort. You never had any idea that this guy stuttered.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and one may say he's gotten better. He's way more. I would say he's way more poised. He's not as easily excited. I did see the full interview. I would think Deontay Wilder is way more poised than he's been. And he's 37 years old now too. So it comes with experience. And you're right, Mr. Fuller. He could be a better communicator. I could be a better communicator. I don't want to soften my answer. Yes, he can get better. Yes, but
let me.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask you a question. Is there an infringement? Is there any type of infringement issues that you would have if you played like from the 45-second that clip when he did with the?
I don't care. I don't mind. I didn't monetize this channel, so we're good.
Okay, so that clip that he had on the pivot from 45 seconds to about 2 minutes. It's only like a minute and 15 seconds. You'll capture what I'm talking about in there. It just kind of like,
Created with Envato Elements, the industry secret, the creator's key. Vast, encompassing, unlimited, providing endless solutions. Accessible.
What year was it that you
45 seconds, you said?
Yeah, it's about 45 seconds to about 2 minutes.
Oh God, though. No, bro, he killed it. Like he was, God did. Yeah, God did. I really went there to kill him, to shoot him. To be honest, you know what I mean. And the devil got in me one point in time because we was in some alleys, and my voice changed. I was like, he would Cuz there with me. I brought Cuz with me too. And one point in time, my whole demeanor about myself changed. I was like, come in this alley. And I knew what I was finna do. Even Cuz will tell you, like my whole demeanor, my face changed about myself. Because I knew what my capabilities of, and I knew, certain, but I knew I couldn't do it because my cameraman was one of my good friends, and I had a vision of him snitching on us, and I would have had to shot him too. I told him, I said I couldn't do it because I would have had to shoot you too, because I saw you telling on me. He started laughing.
That's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
When he tried to say capabilities, that's just one particular incident where
Can I say something about that?
Did you take into account that he's a boxer?
Yeah,
I understand.
You're right, Mr. Fuller. You're right, Mr. Fuller.
He does that several times during the interview, where he
He
uses
does
words
that.
that don't really fit.
He does that on all his interviews, but I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Can I speak on that?
Yeah, go ahead, Dick.
That little with that piece of what you just showed right there.
Mm-hmm.
What's crazy about that? I seen myself in that. My heart is racing I have so many moments like that actually played out, right? But if by the grace of God that I'm not in prison, I'm not dead, I'm looking at him and listening to him. I know these conversations, and I understand the that impediments with that word he struggled with right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, for me, there's a deeper underlying situation here.
Mm-hmm.
The mental trauma that we've gone through and still going through, right? In the education system, in having a village destroyed. Because I know I'm finna sound like an old head, but it's okay. When I came up, when my parents was gone to work, and if I did anything wrong, before my parents got home, the neighbors would already had whooped me, right? And then they would tell my mother, my father, which was a dad. Y'all know the story on that. But anyway, I would get an additional butt whooping to chastise me and correct my behavior. These things has been stripped and taken away. So now kids are coming up, and if they don't get an education, guess what they can do while they're in school? Fussing, fighting with teachers, come home, talking ish to their parents. And I've seen situations where the kids is actually threatening their parents that they'll call the police on them if they put their hands on them, and they pushing their parents and talking smack. I know a lot of these things are uncomfortable, but these are true. And so many elements, it's so many different variables here that's going on. And I'm not putting that at the feet of Deontay Wilder. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, we have a lot of work to do. It's not just Deontay Wilder, man. This is why Mr. Fuller is very important. We have a lot of work to do to correct this. The government has stepped in and told us that they'll be the parents of our children. We can't even chastise our own children. They're taking away the village. So now the kids are chastising the parents and the teachers. So they don't, who gives a damn if they get an education? That's why I get upset when non-blacks come in and speak on our situations, because we got a lot of work to do. Don't tell me what's going on with me and mine when we know what we have to do, and we need to be trying to do it and trying to and stop trying to push back against correcting behavior. When somebody is trying to correct bad behavior, you lash out against that as though it's incorrect. No, it's correct. How can we fix it if we don't want to be corrected? I'll stop.
Yeah, and you know what's, as we're talking about this, his ability to communicate. Shit, he communicated to God quite well that time he wanted to kill himself. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
and that's what I love about him. He's spiritually intact.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what draws me to him, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why we love him. Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
You understand me?
And that's why this conversation is so polarizing.
Hey, Fred. Not only
2 hours to get to the root of it, but go ahead.
Hey, we got to put it into account too that he's speaking in an interview with people that he don't even know around him. Of course, his nerves going to have a lot to do with. That's like anything. Like even in an interview, you're going to slip up on words. But yeah, he maybe need a little word. But I think that's just critiquing. I think he did a good job.
I didn't even think about it until Dr. Fuller said something.
I think it's just nerves.
Well, the thing is, if you listen to the whole video, if you listen all the way through, I mean, I'm not trying to. All I'm saying is the brother's got, he's got great power as a world figure, and he is an international figure, right? He's got a lot of power at his disposal. Great power, you have great responsibility too, and I would just hope that. That he would get a better master of the English language, where he could communicate a little better. Because if you listen to him throughout the interview, I think it's maybe an hour or something long.
Yes, 14, 15 minutes.
Yeah. So if you listen to the whole thing, then you'll see, parts where he's really struggling to use the correct words and things like that. And so that was just a small example. And I'm not criticizing the dude. The dude made more money in one fight, and I think he made 50 than most of us will make in a lifetime. So and his accomplishments, obviously, I mean, he's done some things that we can't even imagine doing in a boxing ring. So I'm not criticizing the brother on his greatness. I'm just saying for us, because the world critiques us as black men, we are under a microscope. I mean, I don't really care what you think. I'm telling you, if you come into an environment as a black man, you're under a microscope. You're being critiqued, and so it behooves us to, just try to get better in every area of our lives as much as we can. And that's all I'm saying.
And to your point, and to that point, and this is a fact. And I've met people from Africa or Haiti or because I got family in all these places. But anyway, the consensus is that blacks in America are nothing more than illiterate thugs, killers, robbers, and rapers, rappers, basketball players, football players, and we're not lawyers, we're not doctors, scientists, we're not the great things that we're not creators. We can only create a rap song. We can only create a jump shot. We can only, you know what I'm saying? So these are the things that they're being told about us. And when they come to America, to stay away from the black Americans. And when they come here, they get grants, they get loans, they get a footing. They get a footing that most of us don't get. And I've seen actually an interview of a young lady saying, what's sad about it, she say, we know that African Americans know this about us and see this, and they see that we come to America and get ahead of them, and they've shedded their blood, they've lost their lives, they built this country, but foreigners can come here and stand on their shoulders and take a dump on them and get ahead of them, and nothing they can do about it. And that's why Black Americans has disdain for blacks from foreign places that's coming into America. And that's the sad part, because that separates us rather than us coming together. They use economics to divide us.
Well, that's not necessarily true, brother. They actually have more. They have more. They have more vitriol for us than we do for them.
Listen, it cut both ways, brother. And matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a video. I got it in my archive. I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
What's your final words on this too, Deke?
Say it again.
Put your final words on it too. I'm about to beam y'all niggas out of here.
Yeah, but no, man. I'm just saying, brother. The divide and conquer is real, and we have to come together as a people, man, and figure this thing out, like Mr. Fowler said, or we will wind up in a museum, right? How much do we value our existence in this world? How much do we value us being able to hold ourselves up, hold our head up with some serious pride and say, you know what? Forget it. They put us at the end of the line, but guess what? As long as God wake us up every morning, we have a shot to run down this situation and get better, man, and figure it out, because we got to quit just discounting everything that someone is trying to tell us to help us get better. It's just like, well, you know what, the guy's rich, so what does it matter? That's a sad state of affairs if we can only look at money and say that is success. That is not the end all be all when it comes to success, man, because I know a lot of people with money who is miserable as hell. That don't mean anything. I mean, because a person has money, you can look over every fact that someone is telling you about correcting behavior, right? Oh, he got money, you know. And I'm not speaking about, like I said, when it comes to Wilder, my love is so great for him. Yes, I'm a coward when it comes to this guy. I don't want to really critique this man. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. And but when we talk about the overall picture, when we talk about us as a people getting better, we're gonna have to stop. And I'm putting me out there. That's why I keep calling myself a coward. We gotta quit being cowards and allow ourselves to be corrected in order to get better. Are we willing to do that? It takes courage. What Mr. Fuller showed tonight was courage, and I wish I had some of it. You know what I mean? Peace and love, family. I thank y'all.
Peace, Birdman. What you got? Appreciate you coming back, Dick. What's up,
Yes,
Birdman?
sir.
All right. I just want to say, like, there are levels to everything we do in life. Like, if you're gonna be a boxer, you know, I like Deontay Wilder because he boxes. I don't care how he talks. I like him as a man, as far as him being a great athlete. I know he talks kind of funny, but that's the funny thing I like about him. If I sit back and critique, he said one word wrong, then I'm going to say, okay, I'm not going to do all that extra stuff, man, because you don't really need all that to get by in life, to work out in life. Some people's journeys are different. Like, I don't want to be a rocket scientist or anything like that. I just want to take care of my family. And it doesn't make that I'm less educated than the person who went to college for, because I'm making just as much money as they are. But the thing about it is, it's all about how you carry yourself. And if people like you for who you are, who cares what the world thinks? That's all I got to say on that.
No, and I appreciate you, Birdman.
Birdman, I get what you.
Before I forget, go ahead, Jerry. Give your final words, man. I'll keep you here all night.
I have more of a problem with, and the one guy that was just speaking, and I got to speak on this, is when he says he gets bothered with white people talking about black folks' problems. Well, the reality is black folks' problems are societal problems, just like white people problems. And the more we segregate, you can't say you want to be part
Fred's trying to end the show. Y'all gonna make this another hour, man. Y'all keep this shit up.
This is closing remarks. Ain't no one responding. Go ahead.
Just closing remarks, man.
You want to be part of the system. You can't constantly segregate yourself and say, well, this is black people's problems. No, we're here together. Slavery's long gone. There's millions of black folks in this country and millions of successful black folks. And so that's why you hear me, like I've told you, Fred, I grew up with black folks. I got black folks all through my family, and I live around a lot of black folks. And so it's not as though black people, and I wonder, and this is why I say a lot of black folks give white people too much credit, is most white people, I guess there's a percentage at the top of elites, but most white people really ain't no different than black. We got the same problems. But it's like Elle said, we're in this together, really. And the black folks that are here and have been here for generations are Americans. And so when you want to be part of that American system, you can't keep excluding yourself by segregating yourself and thinking that your problems only affect your people, because it's just not true. And like I told you before, Fred, I mean, I've set and my hand to God and with a tear in my eye, man, and I prayed for black folks in the city that I live in, because I see the violence. I think that's the one key thing, and I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but one of the key things that is different between working middle class and poor white and black folks is the violence in the black community. That's where I see the real problem at. And I'm not saying there's not contributing factors, but what I had a problem with what Wilder in that interview, he used a couple words out of context, or he mispronounced a couple words. That's true. But to me, I got a bigger issue with him being in an alley convincing himself of killing maybe one or two people. I've never been in an alley and convinced myself that I'm about to kill somebody. And I can't say I've been in desperate situations, but I grew up poor. My mom was on welfare. I grew up in the ghetto. And I never found myself in a situation like that. So with all that we've discussed tonight, and Michael's point being a larger point, which is well understood, and by some on the panel that may not agree initially, they had the guts to say that they could see the logic. Again, I got a bigger problem with him talking about shooting people.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Thanks for the time tonight, guys.
No, I
Thanks for
appreciate.
listening to a white boy.
No, appreciate you, Jerry. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, man.
All right, Jerry.
All right, peace.
Man.
All the time. Hey, D, I don't control people's final words. I don't control, man. Don't put that on me, man. You know I give everybody as much they want to say. Pittsburgh, what you got, man?
Come back, Deacon. Come back, Deacon.
No, no. Tomorrow.
I think we got kind of sidetracked with what Mike's bigger point, Michael's bigger point, which was we got sidetracked with that, which was the people that he's surrounding himself with, and his willingness to maybe address some of the deficiencies that he has, which was the bigger point. We kind of got waddled down into him speaking in communication, which turned into a whole nother thing. And I'd also say that as far as communication go, I think sometimes, especially when it comes to celebrities, because we're in this capitalist system, if people have money, celebrities, then it's like it wash away whatever inequities or sins or deficiencies they have. Or people want to spin themselves in a pretzel to make excuses for people. And they have obvious deficiencies over a long period of time. You know, you can see improvement on people when they have deficiencies and they're working on them. And if you're a public figure, your communication skills should be at a higher level than a regular person, because that's part of your gig. That's part of your job. So that all kind of goes together. Like for us, it wouldn't affect us. And everything that kind of goes together with you being a public person and being a person of stature. I just think, to close out, I think that we got to be like what Deacon is saying, where we have some kind of moral compass and some kind of standards, irregardless of what kind of money you got and what kind of social status you have. And that'll catapult us. But the problem for the most part is that the younger people, the 20-year-olds don't want to hear it, because anything that feels like you're criticizing somebody comes off as hate. And that you can't grow like that.
Right.
Because there's no way that you would be able to excel without listening to somebody who's already been down the road, but you got to experience it yourself. That's a foolish way of thinking. If you got to experience everything yourself and you don't want to listen to people who went down the path already. Fred, I thank you for the time. Appreciate you, fellas. Y'all fellas have a good night.
All right,
Beautiful point. Beautiful point, brother. Beautiful.
All right, be careful out there driving, bro.
Yeah, it's on you, Michael Fuller.
Okay, all right, great.
We're gonna do.
I don't really have a lot to say. I think everyone kind of captured it. I don't want what I said in regards to Mr. Wilder to be construed as hate towards him or anything like that. I mean, just like I said, I mean, I love the brother. I just want to see. It hurt me when he lost his fights. I hated it. I thought that he should have won all 3 of those fights. But I'm just saying that he's got the finances and everything. I just, as a representative, and he's a great representative of black men, I don't necessarily agree with him saying he wants to hurt someone, kill someone in the ring, or what he was talking about in that video. I don't agree with that. But what I am saying is that I wish that he would invest more in his speech ability to hold interviews and do public speaking, because he is an international figure, and it just makes us all look a little better, because of the power that he holds as a former 10 title defense heavyweight champion of the world. So that's my take. And as far as anyone not thinking that being able to speak and communicate is important, whether you're religious or not, if you believe in God, the Bible talks about how powerful the word is, the spoken word is, when it talks about how God spoke the world into existence. Everything that we see in the physical world, like El was talking about, it starts off in the metaphysical world, in a thought, in our thoughts, and then we speak our thoughts, and we materialize our realities through our spoken word. And so your ability to master that spoken word and also the written word. I always say this as an engineer. I'm sorry.
Laws of attraction. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying
Cool. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I was saying was, okay, so as an engineer, I always realize that when you master math science, then you're able to build your own physical reality. You're able to build your own physical reality in the world when you master math and the sciences. But when you master the spoken word, then you're able to change the human spirit and the state of the human condition, because we move the human spirit through our ability to communicate, through our ability to speak and write. That's how powerful that is. The pen is more powerful than any missile that was ever built and can ever be built in the future. The written and spoken word. If you learn to master that, and the more that you have a grasp on that, the more power that you can yield with your pen and your spoken word than any gun, missile, or weapon could. So I just encourage guys, continue to work. We all can get better, man. And I'm continually growing. I'm continuing to try to learn. So I'm not just putting this out for everyone else. I'm saying this to myself as well. We just need to get better, and it's a way that I think that the brother could get better, and I encourage him and all of us to keep doing that. That's it. Peace.
I appreciate you. Kyle, you want to put a bow on your thoughts on this?
This is another great conversation, man.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like, man, we need to know the whole story before we start jumping out there making assumptions about people's lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as I was just computing everything, I thought the pivot, now that I'm looking back at it and I'm taking all these conversations in, the pivot did a terrible job at bringing him into the interview, as it pertains to him wanting to, just that whole conversation. And I actually didn't hear that conversation because I got the kids in the back and I'm adjusting to the interview. So I didn't even really hear that part of the interview. Now that it came back,
that wasn't the beginning of the interview, though, Fred. That was like, how like they do like a little clip before they start the real show.
Yeah, but that is the beginning of the interview because it's 45 seconds.
No. I'm saying, how they do like a little intro video of like they do like the bet, like I guess they choose like the best part of the interview or their favorite part of the interview. And they show at the beginning, and then they go into the actual interview. That's what happened.
Yeah, so I get that, but he's the Barack Obama of boxing. He is Barry Sanders of boxing. He is Earl Spence of boxing. He is, I wouldn't bring you in. Oh yeah, the guy that got I don't know, like you robbed 13 people. Like, I wouldn't bring you in like that, and on a platform like that with 3 other black men. It's just my perspective, because now that I see it from a 360 perspective, and 2, as y'all were talking, I was just thinking about how important it is to have a relationship with a higher power, Allah, God, Buddha. I'm not gonna have that conversation tonight. A higher power really saved Deontay Wilder's life. When you think about it, he was going to kill a black man, as I just found out, and then he wanted to commit suicide later on in the interview. And I'm glad I watched it today too. And it's so important to have a connection with the higher power, or something that you believe can give you strength to overcome something. It really resonated with me, because I'm gonna tell you, while we was watching that interview, I was 15 minutes away from home, and I said to Lincoln, "Did you know Daddy was homeless? My son had no clue all these years that I was homeless for 2 years. He just found out today." And so when you put that together, like people in the chat, like Deacon, from a whole person's perspective, Deontay Wilder is magnificent. When you itemize him, he has flaws, you know, and we want Deontay Wilder because he is one of the more fearless men, one of the more fearless black men, one of the most fearless, God-fearing men that we know. He's a gladiator, and we want him to be Barack Obama, Nat Turner, Malcolm X, Deontay Wilder, you know, and the funny thing is, he wants to be that person. Like he has no problem being that person, whichever one you want, and that's the beauty of him. And I don't know what the balance is between boxing and his Southern drawl and all that. I'm not the scientist on it, but he has an acting career after this, and they're going to tell him. That director's going to tell him, you need to learn English. You got to speak English. You got to speak American English. I had actors. No, you got to speak English. No Southern drawl. No. You got to speak American English. And when you watch movies, you'll understand that. If they're not in the South, they're not talking South. They're talking American Standard English. And I know I actually had dinner with him and the guy from what's the guy that did? He's Denzel Washington's director. What's his name?
Fuqua.
Yeah, we all had dinner together one time, and they're going to work together at some point throughout their careers. And Mr. Fuqua is going to tell him exactly what I'm saying. I'm not as popular as him, but when I'm the leads for my last film, I had an acting coach. When I got off the show, every night I was either writing or working with the acting coach with the actors and actors, and they had to learn the dialect and everything, how it goes. So when he starts getting into acting, and he'll move on, and he's going to be, and that's just going to be, he's going to be when we see him at 45, when he doesn't have to go in the gym and take blunt hits to the head, his head won't be swollen, his brain won't be swollen no more. It'll be healed. And when he's 45, you're going to be like, damn, that's what I think. And then the flip side, maybe how much of it is from boxing, and we'll know that after he retires and he has some years to heal, so we'll see, man. And that's my perspective on it, man. So I think everyone was right. And it is, I don't have a challenge. Like I told Deontay Wilder the Tuesday after the fight, the second fight, I would have stopped it. Period. Yeah. I would have stopped it. And
so I would have been out the loop also. It wouldn't have happened on my watch.
Yeah. I'm not letting the man get killed in the ring. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? And I said, wow, we just wouldn't have talked for a year. And I'm cool with that. So that's just how I feel. So after he retires, he'll look back, because he's even joked in interviews about like I'll articulate words is not the best, and he laughs about it. So he understands it, but his second career, he's going to have to, because honestly, if he really hones in, he could do the commentating. He could do the, the sideline reporting if he chooses to do it. He could be a hell of a promoter. You get what I'm saying? And he's going to be an actor. Deontay Wilder is going to be an actor. Like, he's going to be in the WWE. The WWE needs Deontay Wilder. I shouldn't say need him, because people are going to disagree with me, but he will be a great asset to WWE. Like, let's just keep it a buck. He is perfect for being an entertainer. Like, that's just who he is. So I'll just end it there, and we'll go to Cooking with the Champ. Oh, my last thing. I hold every black man to the highest standard, guys. Everybody, and y'all get mad at me for it. People call me a coon, but in my real life, I swear before Jesus Christ, like, I hold black men to I hold myself to the highest standard. And
I'm gonna tap in with you in a minute. I gotta go upstairs to the White House.
All right, peace. And and I know y'all get mad at me for that a lot. Y'all call me a coon. I don't care what these other motherfuckers do. I don't care at all. And then Jerry hit it home for me yesterday or 2 days ago. I had an aha moment when he said, y'all care too much. Y'all give white people too much credit. And I was like, holy shit. I want to put that on the shirt. So but anyways, man, we can talk about that later, man. It's Cooking with the Champ time. And y'all know how we do it every Tuesday night.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Champion Heart.
I'm gonna feed them if you coming for me. I'm ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head. I'm seeing. Take me for granted, and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood, my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart, or I could go heal them. Don't believe it.
All right, thank you for joining me for another episode of Cooking with the Champ. All right, what we're going to do today is I wanted to do this because I've been looking for a plant-based pancake mix. I think that it's important to always stay healthy, to eat things very healthy. And this is a pretty good mix. I've been looking for it for a long time. So let me show you what I got here. Okay, so this company is called Other World. Okay, and they make a variety of flavors. We got the original, and we have an apple cinnamon. Okay, again, the name of this company is Other World, and they make a plant-based pancake mix. I've been looking for a plant-based pancake mix for a long time. Okay, so what we're gonna do is today we're gonna deal with the original today, and we're gonna make blueberry pancakes. Okay, our meal pretty much today is going to be plant-based. We have the plant-based sausage and our eggs. We're going to use this is probably the only thing that won't be plant-based, but this is a very good grade of egg with vital eggs. They make a really good egg, very rich. So we're going to do this today, and again, this is real easy. Real quick, I'm sure how to do this. I can show you this in a second. Okay, so we have our cup of plant-based pancake mix. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And you would do this just like you would any regular pancake mix. So you just, I don't know if I'm going to use this whole cup. So as I mix this, I'm going to just kind of add my water accordingly. All right. And you want it smooth, okay? Just like regular pancake mix. All right. So
that's good. Yeah, champ.
Right, just like
that's perfect.
Regular pancake mix.
That consistency is yeah.
Right. I've already washed my blueberries off. Want to always be sure to wash
blueberries, champ. They're blueberries.
Okay, you just add that. Throw them right in. All right. All right, now what I like to prepare my pancakes on is I got myself a griddle. These are really cool. I mean, you can do it in a skillet, but it's really easy to work on a griddle. So I've gotten a griddle, and what you want to do is go ahead and turn that on and get your plate here, your griddle plate here, nice and hot. All right, and all you do is just spray it down. All right, it's ready to go. All right, so now what it's going to do is we're gonna have room to prepare our plant-based sausage right along with our plant-based pancake, and that way it cooks simultaneously, and our meal will be done really quick. All right. And here we go. Basically, just kind of move it around, move your bowl around as you're pouring. There you go. And
plant-based pancakes with real eggs.
There's the spreads. All right. You just
that's funny.
Pour it. You want to pour it slowly because you don't want it to spread too fast. Okay, because it's actually cooking as it's spreading. All right, and so that your plant-based sausages don't taste a little bland, you want to go ahead and just add a little bit of seasoning on them. You know, I would just say a couple of pinches. That's all you need. All right.
Don't want to cook too fast, so yeah, let's do about
350. All right. Okay, and see on your griddle, when you make pancakes on your griddle, that's pretty much, you're pretty much gonna have successful pancakes automatically on your griddle because it gives you the room. You know, it's not confined in the skillet. All right. Right now with the plant-based, you don't want to.
The motherfuckers cook fast in the motherfucker.
Fast,
yeah, with that plant-based.
Damn.
Okay, so you want to really keep
You
an eye
don't
on
want to cook it long or
All
they'll
right.
dry out.
Now you're gonna go ahead and get ready to.
I want to see you flip it.
And
All right, I want to see you flip it.
So you know it's done. All right, and flip it.
Oh, you go backwards.
Same thing here. And flip it. All right. All right, and we're done. We got our plant-based blueberry pancakes.
They ain't plant-based, man.
Sausage.
Yeah, I didn't put any eggs in them, man. It's
That's
plant-based.
funny as hell. That's funny as
All
hell.
right, and here we go. Taste test.
Man, you put anything on syrup, this shit good.
Everything.
Hey, syrup with a black person?
It's good.
Hell
Right.
yeah.
Can you taste the difference? If it were regular pancakes, you can't. Is it better or is it the same or
No, the texture ain't the same.
different?
It's dense because you got the butter. You know, you
What
got
about
the
our
egg and the.
plant-based sausage. Good. All right, and there you have it. We got our plant-based blueberry pancakes, plant-based sausage with our scrambled eggs. All right, and it's pretty good. All right, and that was our plant-based blueberry pancakes. All right, again, that company is Otherworld, so check them out. All right, I need you to subscribe, like, and share the video. And
Yeah,
I'll
for
see you next
sure. Share this video, y'all. Share the video. Yeah, man. Thank you for adding a different layer to this show, man. We appreciate you, man. Go subscribe to his channel, man.
Most definitely, man.
You get plant-based. You get plant-based pancakes with real eggs.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? I sent that video to DB, and he was telling me about type of the eggs that I should have used, but I couldn't. I didn't think about it when I put it together. Those are the eggs that I have. But
I get it. I get it.
I'm gonna start doing more plant-based videos, and also I'm gonna start doing more herbal tea videos. I got one coming. Have you ever heard of purple tea? Yeah. Okay. You're gonna like this video. I got this one coming. Purple tea. Yeah, purple tea is really good. It's really good. And actually you can change the color, the hue. You can change it when you add the. It's cool, man. When you add the lemon juice, it changes the.
I didn't know
color. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Man. Yeah.
Hey, you give a black person syrup, everything tastes delicious. Hey, God, is it good?
Right. Right. I got a special one. I got one coming, man. It's really good too.
Oh, my grandmother used to use that thick
Oh, that K-roll syrup.
Oh my!
Oh, I hated that.
You hate it? I loved it, man.
Oh, I
Because
hated it,
man. The pancake, the top come off the pancake.
Yeah, man.
I miss my grandma, man. I miss my grandma, man.
Yeah, my grandmother used to make me eat that Carol syrup. I hated that syrup, man.
My grandparents, man.
Yeah.
My grandma Boo, man. I miss her so much, man.
Yeah, man, too, man.
Damn.
Yep, man, too, man. Better
And
believe
love
it.
your grandparents. You're gonna be like me one day. I got no grandparents that's alive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's
I lost
true.
my last one, man. Yeah.
Right.
And, yeah. But we used to eat them pancakes. Cause I went to New York every summer. So
okay.
yeah, but I spent time with my grandfather. And yeah, I had a step grandmother, but she was great.
Right.
Know? And but yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Go to the freezer section tomorrow and go get you some waffles and put some syrup on that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Just grab one. Hey, niggas don't even put it on a plate. Niggas be like this. Where the syrup at? Niggas be like this with the waffle.
Yeah. Oh man, that's real. That's real tough.
Niggas, and then the dumb niggas grab napkins. You know what I mean? The dumb niggas. No, nigga, you don't put napkins on it. It be stuck. Yeah. But anyways, man, yeah. Syrup got us a lot of days, man. And you put syrup on anything, man, that shit gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
I got one coming. You gonna like, man? I did a special Cooking with the Champ birthday episode.
Oh, okay. What day's your birthday?
My birthday was on the 3rd of October.
Oh, okay. Yeah, happy birthday, dog. Happy birthday. I told you happy birthday last week. I damn sure did.
Yeah. Yep. I had a terrible birthday weekend, so I tried to make up for it when I did this episode with my daughter. Because I got stuck in West Virginia.
Oh man!
Remember that storm that came through? Florida out of Puerto Rico.
Ian, yeah.
I forgot the name. Ian, I think that was the name of the storm.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I was in West Virginia when it was coming out of Florida, and I had to cross the Chesapeake Bridge, and they wouldn't let me cross. They said it was too dangerous because it was
the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Yeah, it was a category.
Oh, you really about to take me back, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was like a category 2 or category 1.
I'm crying here, man. Man, I'm getting emotional, man.
Yeah.
Man, that Chesapeake Bay Bridge bring back so many goddamn memories for me, man.
Really?
17-mile long bridge, guys.
Wow.
And my grandfather taking me across. Man, I'm gonna cry, man. Get me out of here, man.
All right, my brother.
All right, man. You about to make me cry. You're making me cry, man. I miss my grandfather so much, man. And then the Yankees was on today, man. And I only watched the Yankees in the playoffs just so I could think of my grandfather, man. Like that's the only reason I sit in front of the TV before. But yeah, man, we used to cross that Chesapeake Bay Bridge every summer, dog.
Wow.
Every summer, crazy. Man. Damn, man. Yep.
Wow.
Damn.
That's something. Yeah, man.
He goes underwater, above water, and yeah, because he used to always tell me the same story. In the 40s and the 50s, they used to have to catch a boat. They put their car on a boat before they made the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, and the boat used to take them across the bay. Yeah.
Oh, you drive onto the boat.
Yeah, you drive onto the boat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, and
wow.
Yeah. When we crossed that Bay Bridge, that means we were in Virginia, man. And yeah, man, so many fucking memories on that bridge, man.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, man. I wish I could. You know I was telling Molly called me, which is his daughter, about literally a month ago, and she was telling me how oh, we called him granddaddy. He would be so proud of you and this and that. And I said, I wish I could have had an adult I've never had an adult conversation with him. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could have had an adult conversation with him.
Wow.
So, you know, it happens, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I wish he could have met Dre, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he never
Yeah.
met Dre. The irony is my grandma Boo was gonna meet Dre. We was going to Thanksgiving. Swear before God. She died 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. Something like that. Yeah, November, the first week of November, or something like that.
Yeah.
Insane. Wow. So yeah. Yeah, man, crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, S. You from Virginia, man? I remember because when we crossed the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, we can get out the car in like 30, 45 minutes or an hour. We're like, yes, we about to get out the car. I'm a little kid, man. So I'm like, yes, we're in Virginia. I ain't got to sit in this car for 5 more hours. Yes. Yeah, man. So that was a landmark. When we went back to New York, it was the beginning of the trip. When we got to Virginia, it was the end of the trip, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Damn,
Wow.
man. You brought back so much memories.
Man,
Damn.
that's crazy.
Painful and happiness at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. That's why I feel the same with my grandmother. So I definitely feel you on that, man. Without a doubt, man.
Yeah.
Right. Salute to you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Love you, man. Thank you, dog.
Right,
Thanks for
man.
coming through tonight, man.
Most definitely, man. I get at you. All right.
All right, man. Yeah, man. Hey, yeah. Hey, that Chesapeake Bay Bridge should be a eighth wonder, a ninth wonder. That shit is amazing, man. It really is, man. Had me crying in here tonight, man. Man, I miss my grandpa. I know y'all miss y'all grandfather too, man. Love y'all, man. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, dog. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.